And a very good morning to a beautiful day at Optus Stadium, and welcome to the live stream here today for the Reserves Grand Final, the WAFL Reserves for 2019. It all comes down to this, and we've got number 1 and 2 that finished on the ladder, Claremont and West Perth. And I'm delighted to have with me today my co-caller and Paul Persick, and my name's David Clear, and we're bringing you all the action live from Optus Stadium. What a picture it is from with this live stream of the Reserves Grand Final. Paul, very good morning to you.
Good morning, David, and good morning to all our viewers all around Western Australia and across the world. It's going to be a fantastic game. Claremont, the top side in the competition, against West Perth, the second side in the competition. The Falcons, they'll be up against it today, against this Claremont side who have got 10 players who have got at least one game of league experience. But for West Perth, no doubt they'll put up a really good fight this morning here at Optus Stadium. We're streaming live on the WAFL Facebook page and also the WAFL website and WAFL on YouTube as well. So viewers, make sure you're tuning in here from Optus Stadium. And that's not the only slice of action that WA viewers have got, because we've got the League and the Colts coming later this afternoon on 7. So tune in to 7 for all the grand final action.
Absolutely. That's those two games at 11:40, the Colts, and 2:40 this afternoon. Fantastic feast of football. Set yourselves in, buckle yourselves up if you're at home. All the live streaming action and all the vision today of the 3 WAFL Grand Finals, and it's a great day. It's a typical day, Paul, in September where the sun comes out. Now, the two sides, Paul, Claremont probably come into this game as favourites. They've only lost one game for the year, and they're in red-hot form.
They certainly are the top side in the competition, and they are for a reason. As we mentioned, 10 players with at least one game of league experience. They'll be on the back of Corey Hitchcock, who had an inspired performance up forward with 7 goals in the second semi-final against West Perth, where they won by 77 points. And, of course, Jacob Seidens with 28 touches from the centre. He'll be a hard one to beat. But, of course, in the 3 meetings between these two sides for 2019, Claremont have won all 3. In round 2, they defeated West Perth by just 3 points and a cracker, but we get to that in just a few moments. But we'll go back to a break. Claremont winning all the 3 meetings. Can it be a 4th? We'll be back with all the action here from Optus Stadium in the 2019 WAFL Reserves Grand Final. It's Claremont and West Perth.
Grant's Car Stereo Morley, proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years, selling top-name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems, stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley, or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
And welcome back to Optus Stadium. You are streaming live on the WAFL website, Facebook and YouTube. It is the 2019 WAFL Reserves Grand Final. Claremont, the top side in the reserves competition, against West Perth in second place. Paul Persick and David Clear with you as we're about to get set for the Australian National Anthem in not too far from now on what is a gorgeous sunny day here at Optus Stadium this Sunday morning. Optus Stadium looking like an absolute beacon, ready for another great feast of football. We get set now at ground level for the National Anthem in just a few moments.
There's plenty of fans filtering in. You can hear their cheers, and that's always a stirring tune and time to cheer for your team here at Optus Stadium. Plenty of Claremont West Perth supporters outside the ground this morning, Paul. Ready to see. It's an early start. The players, their routine. I mean, reserves normally start late morning, of course, but it'll be interesting their routine and their preparation to get to the ground probably 7 o'clock. And get to bed early. And
it's always about the mindset. What mindset are you in, having to get to the ground very early after an early start to the day? And it's going to be all about who settles down into that mindset and gets the flow of the game going for both sides. It's going to be very important, hence the start of the game. We'll have a look at the teams for this matchup, of course. A couple of key matchups in this one. We've got Riley Morgan, who, of course, has been a big star for Claremont, and Liam Tedesco, one of the members of the Tedesco family, a great football family they are. And, of course, a couple of key West Perth players that'll be keen for a big performance here today. Dylan Yem starting in the forward pocket, at Braden Antonio from right centre wing, and also Connell Lynch, one of the key rovers for West Perth. But for Claremont, they'll be relying on the form of Corey Hitchcock, who had a big performance in the second semi-final. Absolutely.
Liam Tedesco, of course, has played 8 league games this year and kicked 3 in the prelim. So he'll be a key player for West Perth. The Antonio brothers, of course, Braden and Mitchell. And Tom Boyce, who averages 8 tackles a game, a hard nut around the ball for West Perth. And for Claremont, some experience there. Tom Curran played 25 matches for St Kilda. Jake Murphy played in their league 2011-12 flags. Callum England was the West Coast Eagles rookie last year in 2018. Jesse Laurie also played in that 2011-12 league premiership. So, look, Claremont have got some experience. My understanding is they gel very well. Look, we've got some action already.
We certainly do. There's a bit of a brawl on inside the forward 50. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving there. There's no love lost in a grand final. To the right of the screen, West Perth will be kicking to the left of your screen. Claremont will be kicking to the right. The Tigers, they'll be looking for their 5th reserves premiership in this decade. West Perth, they'll be looking for their first in 5 years and their second in over 50 years. It's the reserves grand final, Claremont versus West Perth. Here's David Clear to kick things off.
Yeah, Bailey Bennett and Scott Nelson in that bit of a dust-up there at half-back. Oh, brilliant ruck knock there from Reid. He gets the tap down, but the handball goes to the advantage there of a player, and player tackle for West Perth goes to ground. Playing strong in the tackle there as a Claremont player. Gets it up towards half-forward, but a nice mark there at half-back for West Perth defender.
O'Halloran there from the right half-back flank. He's going to send it long down the line towards a huge pack of players. Players flying. A beautiful mark there for the Tigers, taken by Jordan Reid, the big ruckman, who was expected to have a big performance here this morning. Reid is going to send it inboard. That's a disappointing kick. It goes into the territory there of Moulton. Moulton struggles to mop it in. He's caught in a beautiful tackle there by Laurie. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to let it go, and he's going to say, my ball. It is going to be on the attacking side of the centre for the Tigers. On right centre wing. Still no score. First minute of this reserves grand final here at Optus Stadium. Reid is mopped out of there by Murray. And the ball is going to go over the line for a boundary throw in about 90 metres from the Tigers' goal. They're kicking to the right-hand side of your screen here at Optus Stadium.
Yeah, Connell Lynch getting involved there, but just getting rid of some frustrations, I suppose. Some pent-up energy from the start of this game, throwing his weight around as the throw-in comes in. Almost on centre wing here. Beautiful conditions. Reid in the ruck again. Grabs it out, and he's strongly tackled to the ground. Umpire says held to him. So we'll get another ball up. So some strong tackling from West Perth. Really not a lot of space to work in at the moment. And that West Perth ruckman jumping, that was Troy Ukic jumping straight into Reid, trying to null his effect there as a player gets tackled to the ground, and Jake Murphy. And again, there'll be another ball up. But Troy Ukic and Reid, that'll be a key battle, Paul.
Certainly will be. Big burly ruckman throwing their strength around in the contest. It's going to be a matter of who gets into that front position. Reid gets into the front position this time. The ball bounces, sitting for Curran, who taps it away towards the boundary line. It's going to be another throw in again. It's going to be all about who settles down in this grand final. Those nerves are already showing for both sides. Not a lot has happened in that attacking side of centre for Claremont. It's going to be another boundary throw in just above our in front of our commentary position. It's thrown in. Ukic and Reid battling hard. Ukic gets 2 hands to it. Getting into the front there was Murphy, who gets bumped hard in a beautiful hip and shoulder. Now Claremont, they're looking to get the attack on through Curran. Curran gets caught in a tackle. The ball's going to be held up again. Held to him, says the umpire. And it is going to be a ball up. Ledger was the one with that last possession before he was caught in a heavy tackle. And there's going to be another throw in. Jukic playing in front, but this time loses out to Reed. Jukic fumbles. This time it's Curran who gets the possession, taps it forward. They got two players in front. Beautiful running play there from Barton. He threads his way through, goes inboard now, finding Ledger. Ledger goes to the centre. It's exposed that side of the ground, and now Claremont are away. Edwards gets the hand pass away. Threading the needle there is Ledger. Ledger's kick is towards a 2-on-1. Great courage there with the spoil by Rotham, but Claremont have the numbers now, but it's West Perth with the front of the ball. Beautiful hand pass. Allows Johnson to mop up. Johnson's kick into space. One of them there is McGee for Claremont. Claremont is going to have more numbers around the football. McGee is going to mop up from fullback, and it's going to be a beautiful kick finding Barton from the left half back flank. He's away, but he's caught in a tackle. That was Antonio. Risky play there from Claremont, but now they get it away only momentarily, and it's turned over by Cal Coleman for West Perth. Kicks it long towards the forward 50, towards a 2-on-1. Heavy spoil there. Ball's going to be beaten both players, and it'll be a boundary throw-in on West Perth's left forward pocket.
Yes, West Perth letting their opponents know they're around. They're really trying to apply the pressure to Claremont early. They got out the pack there, West Perth, but there was no one back there. As the throw-in comes in, up they go in the ruck again. Reed, beaten to it this time. Player tackled there. Picked up by Claremont there by England. Tries to get the handball away. He's tackled. In there's Reed again. Gets the handball away to his teammate in Morgan. He gets a scramble, kick it away towards the boundary. It's going to stay in, I think. Picked up here by a player there from West Perth. Sockers it towards the boundary. Oh, player runs into the post. And I think it's gone out of bounds.
Yes, it has. There was no score on the board. It's going to be a throw-in. And West Perth will have a big chance here for that first goal. Both teams still looking for it. We've played 4 minutes in this matchup. It's now 25 metres out from the goal. Jukic and Reed are going to do battle. Reed looked to have been held there, but the umpire said no. Brilliantly picked up there by Laisley. Laisley puts boot to ball. It was a risky kick. Now it's congested again inside that forward 50, and it's going to be a held ball. Claremont wanting a free kick, but nothing doing. And it's going to be another ball up 30 metres out from West Perth's goal. Are we still looking for one? Providing that support there for the ruck is Hawkins, who's going to battle it out with Reed this time. Hawkins gets the tap out. And there's going to be a free kick. Yes, it was a high tackle, and it's going to be a free kick. That's going to go the way of Nathan Murray, and he's going to have a shot for the first goal of this Reserves Grand Final.
Well, you're going to get advantage putting your head over the ball, getting to the ball first. And he's not. He's almost directly in front here, Paul.
Well, he's going to go for it right away. He's not wasting any time. So Nathan Murray, for the first shot of the grand final from 40 metres out, goes for goal and makes no mistake. That's the first goal of the day. West Perth draw first strike. And the Falcons, well, they are absolutely elated, and rightfully so. They had to fight for 5 minutes to get that first goal, and they do it. And Nathan Murray, who will come straight to the bench after that 5-minute spell. And it's a good start for the Falcons. And that desperation, getting first to the football, David, has been a big key in these 5 minutes. West Perth have the early blow.
Yeah, sustained pressure. They don't want to let Claremont get their running game going. They team very well, Claremont. They share the ball. But if they put pressure on the disposer, it's going to make Claremont's job tougher.
And what's also going to be the key for Claremont is that run out of the centre, and West Perth, they apply as much physical pressure. They'll stop that running from the centre for Claremont and make their job a lot harder. West Perth with the first goal of the game.
So Troy Jukic up against Reed. Both very tall men. Reed very high. Jukic wins it though. He gets actually roves his own ruck work, gets it up forward. A wonderful one-handed mark here for Claremont in defence there by Baldwin. Baldwin looks for a running player. Oh, what a wonderful mark under pressure. One-on-one. Superb effort there from the player out there, and Barry Bennett. Bennett finds a teammate again. Geez, their disposal's pretty good under pressure, Claremont. Finds Jake Murphy. He's been prominent early. Runs round his player, puts it on the left. A leading player coming out nicely, takes the mark. There he is, Alex Manuel. So Manuel might be right on the limit of his kicking distance here. We'll have a look, Paul. He's probably going to kick from the 50-metre line.
He's really going to have to give it his all here. I like the way Claremont took their time in transitioning from defence into attack. Their disposal under pressure, as you mentioned, David, absolutely immense so far, and as it has been all season. But Claremont looking for that response.
So Manuel, big kick towards goal. Goal umpire getting right behind it. What a stow. What a drop punt. Beautiful kick. And covered all of 50 metres. That levels the scores early in this 2019 Reserves Grand Final. 1 goal straight apiece.
And that was the response that the Tigers needed after getting that first goal conceded against them. They knew they had to take care of the ball a little bit, and that's what they did. And they have drawn back level now with West Perth. 1 goal straight apiece, 6 points.
Well, it was so impressive, wasn't it? They're marking under pressure, but they're kicking to position and they're kicking to their teammates.
Especially those 2 marks from Bennett and Jake Murphy under pressure as well. They're a couple of good markers for that Claremont side.
I thought that was almost a turnover there at half-back. That would have been costly.
That certainly would have been, but you've got to take the risk in a grand final, and it certainly does deliver for Claremont. They're back level now with West Perth. 1 goal strain apiece. We've played nearly 8 minutes in this first term. Jukic doing battle there with the ruck. In fact, it's loosed out to Gilbert, and now Murphy getting the centre clearance for Claremont. It's kicked towards the forward 50. A lot of space. It's a foot race. Manuel was first to it, but swooping in for the Falcons there is Hawkins. Tigers first to it. Manuel tapping it away now to Jordan Law. Players go to ground. Ball's in dispute outside the forward 50. One of those there is Fraser Foley, and it is going to be a ball up. That's 70 metres out from Claremont's goal. They certainly would love another one. Get that confidence back into them after that early start. Jukic getting the first tap out. Sweeping that one away is Fraser Foley. He centres it towards right centre wing. Ball is spoiled brilliantly. Hawkins, and there's a free kick with some holding on. And it's going to go the way of Dylan Yem for West Perth. Former player for the Whitfords Junior Football Club and a schoolboy player for Mater Dei College over there in Joondalup. His kick towards right half forward. Players fly. And it's going to be over the boundary line. Beating them to it was Lewis Daisley in that foot race against Mitchell Antonio, who's back on the football field with a vengeance this year. He's had a good season for the Falcons. And now the ball is about 80 metres from the West Perth goal. It's going to be another boundary throw-in. Gilbert getting in front position, loses out in the contest. Hawkins now mopping up. Players go to ground. It's a heavy race for the ball. But swooping in there brilliantly was Alec Johnson. Snaps it round the corner. Not a lot of hope there. And it's now turned over by Manuel. Manuel's kick is a disappointing one. But now Claremont, they've got them through. Murphy and Bennett swooping in, threading it through, centering it towards centre half forward. It's a one-on-one. And the mark under pressure taken brilliantly for the Falcons there in Scott Nelson from centre half back. Nelson's kick's a disappointing one. It's a 2-on-2, but Claremont have the numbers at the front. Barton hand passes it back now to Murphy. He has options. One of those there is Manuel, almost taking the mark. Was he held? Umpire says no. Manuel looks to get it in front, but West Perth had numbers around there. Nelson brilliantly done, and that finds Nathan Murray from centre half back. His kick's a risky one towards a 2-on-1. Now Claremont get clear. Barton goes inboard brilliantly. Goes looking there for Bennett. Bennett's bumped off the ball as he kicked it, but now Claremont will look to steady. It's a one-on-one foot race on right centre wing. Slipping over there was England. Was he caught without it? Umpire says no. The kick there was by Ryan, and the ball is going to beat them both. But Claremont have got it in their area. They were under pressure there, but they just had to settle by getting clear on the opposite end of the ground.
Yeah, look, clever kick there from Jake Sturgio. It gained a good 30 metres, that soccer. Kicked it out of mid-air. Starting to get the first hands to the ball now, the Tigers. Right on the 50-metre line. Up they go. Running towards the ball here is Bennett. Can he pick it up? Oh, that sprays that right out on the full. In fact, it was Riley Morgan. And perhaps a few early grand final nerves, spraying that one off the side of the foot.
Yeah, but they'll always be there in a grand final. It's just all about who's going to settle down first.
Jacob Turner taking the relieving kick for the Falcons. Kicks it up the line. Plenty of Claremont players there, up high there. Couldn't take the mark, was Gilbert. Handball comes out nicely, though. Finds a player in Edwards. He turns the ball over to West Perth. Kick comes out towards the boundary and it goes out of bounds. So a tight game early. This is what we wanted, Paul. Nice tight contest. We hope it lasts all game.
Early goings at the moment, but like we said, it's all going to be about who gets that clean slate of momentum, who settles down. But so far, tight and very physical in this contest. It's going to be a boundary throw-in. Clear push out there by Gilbert, but the umpire says play on. It was a fair contest indeed. Almost held without it. There was Nelson. Fair pressure put on by Tom Curran, former St Kilda player. No love lost in a grand final. It's another boundary throw-in. It's on Claremont's attacking side. You're live on the WAFL Facebook page, YouTube and the WAFL website. It's the Reserves Grand Final. Claremont doing battle with West Perth, the two best sides in the Reserves competition. Both missing the hit out there, but now getting on the end of that is England. His kick's partially smothered. Braden Antonio swooping in, snaps it around the corner. Is it going to go over the boundary line? No, it doesn't, but it does eventually beat all the pack of players that were contesting for the football. And it is going to be, I think it's a free kick, I think it is. No, it's not. But there is a lot of pushing and shoving going on. No love lost. A lot of tension building up in a grand final. It is a boundary throw-in. Jukic getting in front there. Taps it out wide. Sweeping in there was Ledger. Gets boot to ball towards the attacking side of the 50 for the Claremont side. But inflicting that turnover there was O'Donnell, but who was over the boundary line by Jordan Law.
Well,
and again, there's more pushing and shoving.
Jacob Turner and Bailey Bennett. They've been at it since start of the game.
They don't want to have their numbers taken and miss a few games in 2020.
Throw in, comes in, up goes Reed, gets it down to the front of the pack. Sedaris is down there. Little pocket dynamo, gets some valuable meterage for Claremont. Up towards the half-forward line. Oh, strong tackle there on Bennett. Really came in hard. That was Sam Rotham. And he let the Claremont player knew that he was there. So, Sedaris, he's pint-sized, isn't he? But he's gets plenty of the ball close to the ground. Reed in the ruck against Jukic. Jukic dominantly down, beautifully picked up here from Tedesco. Wheels round on the left, gets towards his teammate, but he's surrounded by Claremont players. Picked up here by Edwards. He's kick smothered. West Perth getting the run of the ball down here. Running forward to the ball there is Todd. Can he pick it up? Or player pushed in the back perhaps. Umpire says play on. Player showing courage, putting his head over the ball was Addison Dew. Gets the handball again out to Murphy. Murphy's had plenty of possessions. Gets a very, very short kick to Ledger. His mark is paid. Here's Claremont's running game. Off they go. Ryan Murphy gets the kick over towards his teammate. Doesn't quite hit him on the chest. He's got time to wheel around. Pass, but straight to Troy Jukic at centre half back.
Yeah, that was a real wasted opportunity there for the Tigers. They had a little bit more numbers inside, out of that exposed side of the ground, but that turnover there will be disappointing. But West Perth can steady the ship now. They're on the right half-back flank. Here is Moulton. Moulton's going to send it down the line towards a one-on-one. Beautiful mark under pressure, taken there by Jack Burke, the former Quinns Districts junior. Oh, loses his footing there as soon as he kicks the ball. He won't be a happy chappy with that. But West Perth will mop up again. The kick is by Thomas Boyes towards a one-on-one contest. Slipping over there was Manuel, but the ball trickles over the line for a throw-in.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of dew this morning, Paul, on the ground. A couple of players losing their feet.
Yeah, but hopefully they can regather and settle things down. It's a boundary throw-in. 45 metres out from their goal. Hard battle there between Reed and Jukic. Jukic gets into front position, almost takes it out of the ruck there. Murphy tries to thread his way through, but is caught by two Falcons just inside the 50. And it's going to be another boundary throw-in. 1 goal each to both sides.
There's the West Perth coaching bench.
Was Blake Arnold looking for another premiership with the Falcons. The ruck contest there is dominated by the Falcons. Lynch trying to mop it up. Jukic snaps it around the corner towards a one-on-one. Playing from behind there was McGee, but he can't gain any territory there. Was it deliberate? Umpire says no, it's a behind.
Not sure how much pressure he was under there.
Yeah, well, he had nowhere to go, but the kick is immediately turned over. And Thomas Medhat with a beautiful mark. He read the play well there, David. His path to that kick, McGee, was disappointing, but his intended target there, Ledger, was absolutely shocked when Medhat just swooped in when he swooped in, and he took an absolute jaffa. So Thomas Medhat could make the Tigers pay for that mistake and put West Perth 7 points in front. For Medhat's first and the Falcons' second. From 35 metres, goes for goal. That is as straight as a die. Thomas Medhat gets the Falcons' second goal. They're out to a 7-point lead on the 16-minute mark of this opening term of the Reserves Grand Final. West Perth leading by 7 here at Optus Stadium.
Yes, Paul. Well called. Yeah, that they tried it. Here he is, just trying to have a very quick play on, and straight to his opposition number there. So, what a mistake.
What the Tigers maybe need to do if they're getting it from the full back line is push their numbers back a little bit more, get some more space on their attacking side. But they didn't do that. They tried to settle the game a little quickly. And that was a very, very costly mistake in the context of this quarter.
Now, the closest West Perth have got to Claremont this year, they haven't beaten them, but round 2, 3 points was the margin. So they've shown they can match them, but the last 2 games have been blowouts where the Tigers have really run all over West Perth. But it's a grand final. It's a different game. Up they go in the middle. Jukic and Reed going very, very high again. Taken by Murphy again. Gosh, he's been prominent early. First hands to the ball, and Jake Murphy must have had 5 or 6 possessions already. So we're going to have another throw up right in the middle of the ground. What a beautiful day for it. Jukic wins this one, taps it down to his rover, but there's no room to move there. The umpires today, Cam Jones, the officiating umpire at the moment, Jason Gibb and Louis Jago. So congratulations to those 3. Jukic taps it forward. Picked up again by Claremont there. Player tackled. Ball goes to ground. Umpire says play on. Perhaps no prior opportunity. And this time there's a player over the ball. Yeah, second time not so lucky. And a nice tackle there from West Perth. Conal Lynch. He's been prominent early. Puts it up right into the inside 50 zone off the knees there of that Claremont player, Ben Edwards. And it goes out of bounds. So again, Paul, that tackling pressure from West Perth paying off.
If they can keep going with that, maybe they could blow out to a bigger lead. But what Claremont have to do is maybe get more numbers around the centre contest, because West Perth are really congesting that contest. But the Falcons, well, they would love another goal. Claremont, they need to respond quickly. They've got to get that running game going.
Up in the ruck there, Jukic in front, picked up by Sidiris, gets the handball to his teammate, but it's intercepted by the West Perth forwards again, creates a contest on the ground. Ben Edwards is in there for Claremont. But this clearance is vital. Can West Perth get it deep inside their 50? Jukic gets the way of his teammate there, and Boys, he carries it forward, but he's tackled again. Must be 10 or 11 players there. Claremont finally break clear with the ball, and that was Baldwin. Gets a big kick up into the wing, sprays to ground. Nice reading off the pack there from Claremont. Booted inside 50. A big good one-on-one contest, but running back with the ball, and strongly tackled there is Moulton. Umpire says holding, oh no, well, it's slung to the ground. Dangerous tackle, he says. Free kick for Tyson Moulton.
I thought that was a pretty fair tackle. He really gave it a real hot go, but Claremont can consider themselves unlucky in that. But West Perth will take that chance. Moulton's kick falls short of his intended target there in Nelson. He eventually mops up, gets boot to ball towards right half forward, towards a one-on-one. Claremont having more numbers around the football. Swooping in brilliantly there is Tedesco. Goes for goal from 20 metres out, and it bounces through for a behind.
Just the wrong side of the post there.
But brilliantly done by Tedesco. He just kept on running unchecked. No one defended across him, and that would have been a real big opportunity to go 2 goals in front, but they'll still be satisfied with an 8-point lead as Claremont will reset play, and taken there by number 55 there in Lewis Daisley. He's been red hot from the back half. Daisley is going to look for options down the line. Boots it long. One-on-one contest. West Perth have numbers around the football. Spoiling it brilliantly there was Moulton, but Claremont going front and square there was Bennett. Snaps it round the corner. Clever kick. And his target there is
Reed.
Yeah, Reed. And now West Perth, after that kick, will mop up. The kick was a risky one there from Moulton. And that is going to be a boundary throw-in on the Claremont attacking side of centre. They haven't been inside that 50 for about 6 minutes in this opening term because of that ferocity and physicality that West Perth have put on. They've got to find a way to escape that wall that West Perth are putting them on.
Jukic in front, gets it down almost to his rover in Lynch. But Lynch drives a very strong tackle. Gosh, that was tough in the clinches. Conal Lynch been everywhere at the moment. Strong tackle there on Jordan Law. Up they go in the ruck. Down it goes rushing towards Tom Curran. And it goes out of bounds. West Perth, by the sounds of it, our effects, Mike, got plenty of supporters down there.
They certainly do, especially Dan, that very passionate supporter and very vocal, yelling out Khan West from
you
the
actually know him, do you?
No, I do. I go to most of the games with him.
So the Reed in front, grabs it out of the ruck. He's tackled by Jukic. Not before he gets his kick away. Player carried under the ball. And that was Thomas Baldwin. And the umpire says that's okay. So the umpire's letting it go a fair bit at the moment.
Yeah, they're just letting the game flow freely, letting the players just get a little bit physical out there. It's a grand final. We'd expect nothing less from these two top sides.
Another throw in here. Plenty of boundary throw-ins so far today. Side's not risking going up the middle. Reed in front. He's blunted. Player getting Lynch. Another possession. Left foot out of the pack. And off the boots there of Tedesco. And straight out on the full.
And that's going to allow Claremont to mop it up now. They've got a big chance here. McGee, the former Scarborough player. He kicks it down the line. A disappointing kick. Just falling short of Jacob Orr, and it is going to be another boundary throw-in just below our commentary position there. The Falcons coaching bench cheering that stoppage on. They've had the ascendancy in the last 10 minutes through those goals there from Nathan Murray and Thomas Medhat, although it has been a physical start. Reed getting the first tap out, but numbers 2 favour West Perth. Murray breaks through 2 tackles, gets boot to ball. It's a risky kick towards a 3-on-1. Great mark there by number 53 there in Jack Burke. He's been everywhere in this first term. He's going to send it long. Claremont have the numbers. Was it holding? Umpire says no. Fair call indeed. But McGee, up they go. McGee gets a risky kick. Hand pass there from Morgan. Morgan's going to send it long towards centre half back for the Tigers. Mopping up brilliantly there. That looked like a high tackle on Daisley. Umpire says no. He must have ducked. But West Perth had numbers round the football, but Claremont swooping in through Davis. Flicks it forward now to Reed. Reed's kick towards a 2-on-1. West Perth have numbers. Courage in the air shown there by Hawkins. But sock it off the ground brilliantly there by Sturgu. Sturgu's soccering it off the ground towards Morgan. He's under pressure. Hard tackle there from the West Perth defender. The umpire says, give it to me. We're right on the Claremont 50. Claremont, they would love the next clearance. We've got about 6 minutes of this opening term to go here in this Reserves Grand Final. And Claremont, they are trailing by 8. It's a throw up just on the 50. Claremont getting the first tap out. Morgan with the centering kick towards the half-forward line. Manuel struggling to pick it up. But was he caught high? Was Morgan? Umpire says no. Murphy it was. I should say yes, it was. A late call by the umpire. He originally said play on, but it was a high tackle. It looked pretty high from our vantage point here in the commentary box.
Players have just got to be careful, Paul. I know it's difficult. When a player drops to his knees like that, it's hard not to get them high. And
it's hard to, get it interpreted correctly as well, because, if it's going to be a head duck or getting down onto the knees, it's always very difficult for those in the know to interpret a free kick like that. So, Jake Murphy, this to get Claremont back to within 2 points. And what a telling goal this would be with 5 minutes left in this opening term. From 35 metres out, the wind at his back, and he gets it. Telling goal from Jake Murphy. That's his first, and Claremont draw back. They're now within 2 points of West Perth. Just about 5 minutes left in this opening term. 2 goals strength to 2 goals 2 here in this Reserves Grand Final. You're streaming live on the WAFL website, WAFL Facebook page, and WAFL on YouTube.
As you can see on the screen there, 23 minutes into this first quarter. With the Reserves, 28-minute quarters with no time on. So about a bit over 4 minutes to go by the time this ball is bounced. But Jake Murphy has spent just about the entire quarter on the ball and plenty of possession. So West Perth are going to have to keep an eye on him.
He's been right in the thick of things, hasn't he, Murphy? He's played a good game thus far, the former Scotch boy.
So bounce down again. We've got Gilbert in the ruck now for Claremont. Relieving Reed. He gets the tap. Bounce favours him. Picked up nicely by Todd. Gets the handball backwards. Oh, and just avoiding a big hip and shoulder. Nice blind turn. Kick out of the pack there by West Perth. Up towards half forward. Massive pack. Almost a great mark there from Ledger. He plays on. He's got some pace off half back. Kick smothered. Well done by West Perth. Plenty of pressure in the packs. But Tom Ledger, we've seen him make a couple of dashes off half back. And again, we see the push and shove.
Well, I don't expect that to smither even by the final siren. This is going to be as fierce as you could get, David.
Jukic in front. He halves it with Reed. Nice kick out of the pack there by Rushforth. Picked up nicely in defence by Moulton. Chain of handballs. It goes back to Moulton. West Perth teaming well. Moulton cleverly changes direction. Oh, and finds teammates all out on their own. Great work by Moulton off half-back. Addison Dew takes the mark. He gets the pass. Another player all on his lonesome there is Murray. Murray kicks it over the top. Follows up his own work. Tedesco gets the handball out. But Claremont there in numbers now. The ball has gone to ground. A strong tackle from Nathan Murray. He's already picked up 1 goal. It was almost a slam tackle into the ground.
Yeah, it certainly was. But again, the pushing and shoving continues. It's on the 50. Murray tapping it forward, only as far as Ledger, who gets boot to ball, covering some valuable distance to a 2-on-1. West Perth had numbers around the football. One of those there is Rotham, who covers it up. The hand pass comes loose now. This time it's Murphy. That looked like a throw. Interesting, but the umpire says no, fair. And it'll be a boundary throw in. Oh, and Ryan Murphy there just slinging one of his West Perth opponents to the ground there. As he said, David, this game is really getting physical and it's not going to smither anytime soon. Jukic wins the first tap out again, but only as far as Claremont's one of their big stars in Stura, but it's turned over by the physical pressure of the Falcons. Long booming kick by Antonio towards the left half forward flank. Plenty of players flying. Big tackle there from Hawkins. Held. Yes, he was held without it, and that was number 57 there in Jacob Orr, who was held without it. He's going to take the free kick. Manuel, well, no, that's Bennett, I should say. He drops the mark. Quick hand pass out there to Sudu. But now the Tigers are away. They're clear. This is a telling possession now. They're going to roam it free from that centre circle. Daisley goes inboard now. A beautiful kick finding Murphy. Murphy with the quick release to Bennett. He's going to thread it through. He's 65 metres out. Good centering kick looking for Manuel. Just out of his reach there, but follows it up with a good tackle on Tedesco. Claremont have the numbers here. Here he is. Picking it up there is Rushford. Rushford looking for the hand pass. Courage in the air from both teams. Showing it to go hard on that one. Rushford again burrowing his way through, and West Perth can catch a bit of a break there.
Copying a big hip and shoulder was Ben Edwards. Slow to get up. I think Moulton dished that out.
Yes, you are right about that.
He's okay, though. He's just shaking his head. In fact, I think that was Isaac Barton there that copped that hip and shoulder. taking the ball out of the pack there is Sidiris. He's been prominent early, Jacob Sidiris. Plenty of possessions.
Got 28 in that second semi-final, did Sidiris, and he'll be looking for another inspired performance.
Dangerous position here for West Perth just before quarter time. Reading the ball off the pack, but strongly tackled. I think he had prior opportunity. Umpire says play on, and the kick from West Perth goes out of the pack, and Claremont
Deliberate.
Deliberate. He's paid it.
Wow.
Wow, goodness me. West Perth supporters won't be too happy with that. Claremont passed it in towards full forward, and that kick was from Law, didn't find his teammate, and players dive on the ball.
Well, if I was the recipient of that kick, I would have taken the risk, Jordan Law. We're not just too far away from quarter time.
No, 15 seconds. No time on, remember.
Yeah, that's it. We'll,
the longer the players take to get off this ball, less chance for Claremont. About 5 seconds to go. Up they go in the ruck. They need to get it towards the boundary line. West Perth grab the ball, and that'll be quarter time as it ends with a big sling tackle. That's typical of the first quarter, very symbolic. No love lost between these two sides, Claremont and West Perth. Two north of the river sides. They've had plenty of spirited battles over the years. And quickly the goal kickers for both sides. For Claremont, Jake Murphy and Alex Manuel. And for West Perth, Nathan Murray and Thomas Medhat. So what a brilliant start we've had to the game. West Perth 2 points in front, 2-2-14 lead. Claremont 2 straight 12. We'll take a quick break here from our all-important supporters, and we'll be back with the quarter-time summary.
Grant's Car Stereo Morley, proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years. Selling top-name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems. Stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley, or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to the WAFL Reserves Grand Final. Claremont versus West Perth here at Optus Stadium. This is your CD Dodd Scrap Metal Recyclers highlights. And the pressure was on right from the outset, David Clear, as the Claremont Tigers and the West Perth Falcons battled for momentum. A lot of physical action, as you can see here. A big battle there between Jukic and Jordan Reid early on, and the ruck expect that to be a big key matchup. With Jukic getting a lot more of the hit-outs here, he's got a distinct advantage in terms of their frame, in terms of his frame compared to Reid.
Coming across from Swan Districts this season for a better opportunity. Played probably the first half of the year in the league team. But Jordan Reid has got a magnificent leap on him, Jordan Reid. There's an example there. But Jukic is really trying to body him in the ruck to get that first advantage. But the West Perth tackling's been impressive, Paul, as we see. There's an example there. They've really been aggressive at the ball. As we see Claremont trying to get their running game going. We've seen it with a couple of their goals. They've been able to chain several passes together and end up with shots for goal, but it's been few and far between. So the West Perth pressure needs to continue. Can they keep up that pressure and the stamina for the whole game?
That's certainly going to be the big question, and that would be the number one thing that West Perth will have to put on their priorities against this Claremont side that are running fast. They've got that running gun style of play that catches out their opposition defenders by surprise. As you can see here, the chain of possession by the Claremont side really worked for much of that first quarter, especially in the later stages where they got that last goal back through Jake Murphy late in that term. But here you could see West Perth had plenty of chances to convert. But they could only manage 2 goals too in what was a very tough quarter. And there you could see a lot of physical action. Dylan Yem providing that little extra bump. And there, another big chance from Slade Hawkins getting the hand pass out to Alec Johnson, who got rammed into the post. But there was a lot of physical action early on in that term. And there you could see that was the first goal of the game through Nathan Murray. We got that high tackle in the early minutes. And he made it look so easy, Nathan Murray. Hasn't been as immense in the grand final as he has been throughout the season, but he'll be looking for another big performance this morning here at Optus Stadium. 2 goals to West Perth, leading 2 goals straight to Claremont in this WAFL Reserves Grand Final Optus Stadium. If you want more WAFL action, don't forget to tune into 7 from 11:40 and 2:40 for the Colts and League Grand Final respectively. The Colts being contested by Peel Thunder and Claremont, and the League Grand Final, Subiaco and South Fremantle. What a feast of football it is going to be.
This was Claremont's first goal. Wonderful kick from just outside 50 from Alex Manuel, and that was after a succession of really good passes. Jake Murphy put it on his chest, and he's been probably Claremont's best player, most influential around the middle. But you can see the players, they're really throwing caution to the wind, throwing their bodies at the ball. They're risking injury. It takes a lot of courage to do that, and we've seen plenty of examples there. And a couple of turnovers Claremont have had, but the West Perth defence has been strong, particularly the likes of Tyson Moulton. He's been strong at half-back and helped set up a couple of forays forward for West Perth. And they've really tried to negate the space in the Claremont forward line. There we see West Perth forwards, and there's Jordan Reid in the ruck. What a magnificent leap he's got in him.
He has got a leap, and he'll continue that battle with Troy Ukic in the ruck all throughout the morning here at Optus Stadium, as we're about to get underway in the second term here at Optus Stadium. The stadium is looking like an absolute beacon today on a sunny Sunday morning on WAFL Grand Final Day 2019. Who will be the first to respond in this second term? Will it be the Falcons or will it be the Tigers? Second term underway here at Optus Stadium. West Perth lead it by 2 points. It's going to be Ukic and Reid to start things off in this second term. Ukic gets the first tap out. He was playing in front there. Tedesco gets the first possession. Struggles to get the hand pass away. He was under pressure from Law. Law, he's caught with a beautiful tackle, but there was holding on. And it is going to be a free kick going the way of the Falcons.
Yeah,
and it's going to be taken by Lynch.
I don't think the umpires like that sling tackle, do they?
Yeah, they will always crack down on those, considering the dangers of football these days. But Lynch will send it long towards centre-half forward. Murray and Tedesco mopping up. Tedesco sends it round the corner towards a one-on-one contest. Murray was one of those, but West Perth are under a lot of pressure now. Davis goes at ground level, working very hard, looping it over the shoulder. Now here comes the number 33 in Coleman. Coleman snaps for goal and misses to the left-hand side for the first score of this second term. Behind 3 points the difference. Claremont are going to play it on very quickly, going to try that run-and-gun style. Ledger takes the mark now, loops the hand pass over to Morgan. Morgan's kick is a good one, finds Reid. Now Claremont are on the attack. This is Rushforth. Rushforth goes inboard, a risky kick, but a well-calculated one. If only Sidorus had taken the mark. Lynch mops it up now, and West Perth can steady it. This time now, it's Alec Johnson who sends it towards right half forward, and beautiful mark taken there under pressure by Bailey Chalmers. It was Thomas Medhat. Medhat's kick over the shoulder, but now mopping up there is a huge pack of plays for the Tigers. They had the numbers at the back. Dew was one of them, and he could steady things now for Claremont. That kick just falling short of Ledger. He's going to be under pressure from Tedesco. Ledger's pass
held
over the top. Was he held? Yes, he was. Umpire calls play on there, letting it go here, but Claremont are going to control it again through Curran. Curran goes down the line on left centre wing and finds his Tiger teammate in Manuel, who kicked their first goal early on. Manuel goes down the line. The kick is an ordinary one over the head of Hawkins, and it's a boundary throw in. But Claremont gained some good territory there in that last passage from centre-half back.
What's been noticeable, Paul, is they've really tried to play on at all costs. As soon as they got the mark, they're off. They want to take the game on. They want to run at the West Perth defence. And that seems to be the coach's instructions from quarter time. As you see the throw in, Ukic and Reid go at it. Reid in front, gets it down to the front of the pack. There's Curran. He handballs, but straight to the opposition. Throws it on the left. 3-on-1 here for Claremont, so they've got the numbers. Picked up nicely by a player there who's tackled in Dew. He's thrown to the ground and he sits on the ball. Umpire says no pro opportunity, but a nice tackle.
What West Perth are looking to try and do when they bomb it long is try and get their numbers as back as possible. But if they're not doing that, they're going to face a lot of pressure from this Claremont side.
Tedesco picks the ball up, powers his way through the pack. He's strong through the hips. Sedaris gets a teammate, gets the handball out, but it's straight to the opposition in Coleman. Up towards half forward for West Perth. Player tackle, he's all over him there. Smothered him like a blanket. And umpire, there's no hesitation in saying that's a free kick to McGee. McGee was absolutely covered up by that tackle. It's a wobbly drop punt towards half forward. Up they go. It's almost thrown out the back of the pack. Player tackled and slung to the ground. Umpire says play on. They really are letting it go this quarter. Up towards a player there in Antonio. That's Braden Antonio. He's slung to the ground. Claremont get the turnover. Goes back to McGee. McGee throws it on the right, but the kick goes astray, and he's going to give it straight back to West Perth.
Out of bounds on the full from left centre wing. That's something that Claremont did not want to see. And the free kick is going to be taken by West Perth, and that's going to be Alec Johnson from left centre wing. Not a lot of options on the fat side of the ground. He's going to send it down the line, and it is going to be another boundary throw, and they gain about 40 metres there. And West Perth, they would dearly love a goal from this passage, but Claremont, they know they can take the game on in defence, and they could run it from centre half back with a very good chain of disposal. And that's what got them their first couple of goals. Here they go, Jukic and Reid. Reid almost being held there, takes it out of the ruck, but under pressure there was Reid. Mopping it up was Lynch. Struggled to get boot to ball. Now Manuel mopping it up there. Bennett was the intended target for the Tigers. Keeps it in front of his feet, under pressure from Tedesco. Here's Lynch mopping up again, looking for that soccer off the ground. Great effort by Reid under pressure. A lot of intensity at ground level, looking for the kick. Courage in the air there by Antonio. He couldn't take the mark. Now the Claremont side through Gilbert are mopping up. Again, turnover city for the Tigers and Falcons, and this time it's Bailey Bennett who takes the mark from centre half back. He's going to send it across the ground now to a 2-on-1 risky kick. But well done there from England, getting himself into the best position to mop up for the Tigers. And again, a beautiful kick to his teammate there in Corey Hitchcock, who kicked 7 in that second semi-final. He's going to send it to the left forward pocket. And the mark wasn't taken by his full forward. They shouldn't have. But now the Tigers will have to pay for that mistake because the Falcons have gained some yardage, but the Falcons have made another mistake. It's turnover city for both sides. Jacob Bennett sends it long towards the full forward zone. Brilliantly done by England. Mops the hand pass away to the advantage of Ledger. Ledger's going to snap it round the corner. Brilliant smother there from Antonio. And now the West Perth Falcons can mop it up this time. Antonio's going to send it out of centre half back. Claremont have the numbers, however. They've got about 5 around the football. Antonio doing all he can. It's a foot race between himself and Grant. Grant's kick towards full forward. Falcons under pressure again. They need to be as intense as they can be. It's mopped up by Hitchcock. He's caught in a good tackle by Tyson Moulton, who too has been immense in this match so far. And it is going to be another ball up. It's on the Claremont 50. Inside their 50, they would love a goal here.
Jukic taps it down almost to the opposition. Ledger over the ball, almost got a push. And he's come off half back. He's up forward at the moment. That's interesting. A couple of really strong dashes in the first quarter. He's slow to get up. And perhaps hurt himself a little bit in that jarring tackle. 20 minutes out from the Claremont goal. Jukic gets it forward, but it's roved nicely. Player, did he get a high tackle?
Yes, he did.
Tom Curran. Well, we've seen that a few times today. Players get the ball dropped to their knees, and players have got to be so careful. I think the umpires have got to think about, is that considered ducking? You know, because it's really difficult for the player who confronts that player with the tackle. The player suddenly drops to their knees, slides in, and they cop the high tackle. I understand you've got to protect the player's head, but if they're causing the contact, you've got to really take that into consideration.
And we touched on that in the first quarter early, you know, who causes the contact, whether it's going to be down the knees and so on.
So Curran, 35 metres out, almost directly in front. Kicks, goal umpire doesn't move. His first, Claremont's third. Another goal from a free kick, and they surround Curran. His teammates are delighted with that, and they take the lead. 3 straight 18, lead West Perth 2-3-15, and I think, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the first time they were in the lead in the game?
Yes, that is correct. First time that they have hit the front in this contest. And my goodness, that is a telling goal for the Tigers. They had a lot of pressure put on them by the Falcons. As you can see, the bench, as Tom Curran comes onto the bench, they are elated with that first goal of the term. They needed that one to really switch the tide in this contest.
What's been different this quarter, Paul, is the play's been much more up the middle of the ground, if you've noticed. And Claremont are really trying to run it through the middle, and West Perth are counter-attacking as well through the middle. So far less boundary throw-ins.
3 points the difference. Claremont leading. Played 7 minutes in his second term. Reserves grand final. The Tigers and the Falcons from Optus Stadium. Lynch ducking his head there, escaping the tackle. Gets boot to ball towards the West Perth attacking zone. Picked up there by Antonio. He's going to snap it around the corner towards a 2-on-1. West Perth had numbers around the football. One of those there is an immense player in Tedesco. He's going to dribble it forward towards a 1-on-1. And it escapes a couple of Falcons there. Heavy bump there on Baldwin. But this time round, West Perth can mop up. But this time it's Bennett who inflicts the turnover for the Tigers. Towards a 2-on-1. And a brilliant mark over the top. Bailey Chalmers, another Marda schoolboy and a former Ocean Ridge junior. He's going to have a chance for a quick answer for the Falcons. And again, it's all down to that defensive pressure that West Perth have established throughout this game, stopping the Claremont run on. And Bailey Chalmers, a good exponent of high marking in this game. So Bailey Chalmers, who's played a couple of Colts games as well, from just inside the 50. Gives it everything he's got. Is it going to make the distance? No, it's punched away by 2 Claremont defenders, and it is a behind. 2 goals, 5-17 to Claremont. 3 goals straight, 18 the margin. Only a point.
Yeah, great game.
2 points, I should say.
Great game in this WAFL Reserves Grand Final.
The kick.
Low and flat out towards past the 50-metre line. Plenty of players around the ball, taking it out of the pack and barging through as Jordan Law. Didn't quite get boot to ball. Crowd calls holding the ball, and the umpire says, give it to me. So there'll be a ball up. Just outside 50 for West Perth. They're trailed by 2 points, 8 minutes into the second quarter. And umpire says, let's clear a path for me. Up in the ruck this time as Gilbert gets the tap down. Straight to a teammate. He can't escape. That's Bailey Bennett. So clearance here for West Perth will be most valuable. Get it into their forward line. Claremont seem to have they've got a spare player dropping back. Up they go in the ruck. Gilbert gets it wide. Jake Murphy throws it on the left, but straight into an opposition player. Handball comes out the back, barging through the pack beautifully there for West Perth as a player. Handball's it forward. Oh, barging onto the ball nicely there is Yem. Yem snaps and just getting there in time for Claremont is Caden Gilbert. And he rushes it through for a point.
Now a point the difference, 2-5-17 to 3 goals straight. That spare play you're speaking of, Thomas O'Halloran, he was acting as the sweeper there for that contest, just waiting for that hit out. And unfortunately, it wasn't to be leading into a goal, but he did it very well, getting it from the centre. The kick was turned over. This time it's now Medhat who snaps it around the corner, looking for the path of Antonio. Now West Perth swooping in now through Thomas Boyds, who snaps over the shoulder, and it's a behind again. So they've had more opportunities to score inside 50, but it hasn't been the maximum. But the satisfying thing for them is scores are level now, 18 apiece, 2-6 to 3 goals straight. We've played just on 10 minutes in this second quarter. The kick's a disappointing one, looking for Antonio. Yem's going to mop up, but here is Braden Antonio. He's going to snap it with the left foot for the response, and West Perth get their first goal. Braden Antonio off the turnover, quick left foot snap, and the Falcons are back in front.
Another goal from a turnover from a Claremont kick out.
2 now.
Yeah, West Perth are sieging on that, and they're putting pressure on their Claremont backmen, their opponents. So the forwards are to be congratulated with the pressure they're putting on the Claremont defence at the moment. They're not allowing that run out of defence, and that's obviously a key to their strategy today, but they've opened up a 6-point lead again. 9 scoring shots to 3. Very interesting. If they'd converted and some of those opportunities, I know some of them have been under pressure, their lead would be greater.
Well, that's a big call. Very big call early. But when you think about it, they're inside 50 chances, West Perth. They've had a lot more of those. But when you think about it as well, Claremont running from the back, they've had more chances in transition.
Up they go in the ruck. And a nice bounce down there goes to Ashfield. Ashfield punches it forward. So nice leap from him. He's the relieving ruck for Ukic. He's up against Caden Gilbert in the ruck at the moment. Gilbert gets it down towards Ledger. Ledger taps it forward, but Antonio's in there for West Perth. Breaks even the contest as a player there picks it up. Rushforth for Claremont. He strongly tackles straight away. And the big ruckman doing his fair share of hard work there, Michael Ashfield. Up they go again. Ashfield and Gilbert. That's shared off the back of the pack nicely. A bit of free kick.
Holding.
Someone's being held off the pack. Looks like Jake Murphy. So that was away from the ball. Maybe a heavy tag being put on Murphy after his first quarter. Onto his favoured left. Up towards full forward. West Perth in front though. Curran's down there, but so is a player there in Law. Gets the handball wide. Player tackled there in Ryan Murphy. West Perth are able to clear, relieve the pressure. Caden Gilbert picks it up, strongly tackled by Conal Lynch. Didn't see him, and he causes the turnover holding the ball.
Lynch has been immense so far. He's laid on a couple of good tackles and getting key possession for the Falcons. He too has been a top player so far for the Falcons.
Alec Johnson gets the kick forward, but relieving in defence there is Daisley for Claremont.
He's
got nowhere to go. He's slung around by Murray, and fortunately he finds the boundary line.
That physical pressure by the Falcons again, feeding off into entries inside their forward 50. It's worked wonders, and they're rattling Claremont off their game, and almost a little bit of a punch out there from one of the Claremont players in Lewis Davis. Lucky not to give away a free kick, but the umpire's saying, get physical as you want to, but make sure you don't punch any players out, because this is grand final football. Tension there at its best. Knocked down there by Reid, who gets it back. Poor disposal. Here's Cooper Todd, centering the kick towards the top of the goal square. No chance for a mark there. spoilt away. Mopping it up for the Tigers now is Morgan. Morgan is under pressure, gets a hand pass to Gilbert, and now Claremont are clear. The kick is into space, but mopping up for the Falcons brilliantly is Antonio. Long kick towards the forward 50. Numbers around the football. Chalmers looking for the leap, couldn't take the mark, but now Claremont with numbers at front of the ball can set up now. Here's Bennett looking for Gilbert. Gilbert with a heavy bump at the front of the ball. This time he does get it. And West Perth, again, their physical pressure immense. Ball goes to ground. Here's Gilbert again, tackled immediately. Chalmers looking to burrow his way through, but it's not going to happen. The umpire says L to him, and it's going to be a ball up on the edge of the centre square. The game really tensing up here.
Great battle in the middle there between the two teams. It's really even at the moment. And West Perth starting to gain some momentum. Up high in the ruck there. Gets the ruck knocked down there in Ashfield. Kick forward here from West Perth. Back into danger territory. Coming out for Claremont there nicely is Morton. Gets the kick right up the wing. Looking for his teammate out there. A running player in Bailey Bennett. And he's been amongst the action as well with his pace. And it's out of bounds on the far wing.
Lynch just coming on the bench for the Falcons, as well as, I believe, Johnson.
So we've got a throw in just forward of centre wing for Claremont. Reed up against Ashfield. Gets it down to a player in Murray. He can't pick it up. He's bustled off the ball. Claremont going to run out the back here. This time it's Morgan. Gets it high, deep into attack, but a lovely relieving mark by Moulton. West Perth defence is holding up strong this quarter. Looks for a leading player out here, but Claremont intercept nicely. Ball running out towards the boundary line. Two players converge on it. For Claremont first there is Sturgio, but strong pressure put on by Chalmers. And again, a wonderful contest, but a great relieving mark from Moulton.
Well, Moulton has been immense in that defensive 50. He's running back with the flight of the ball, asserting himself in that contest. It really showed why that the West Perth defence has really relied heavily on Moulton to really take those big clearing marks and send West Perth out of defence. Here they go again. Reed getting physical there with Jukic. Claremont players now under pressure. Murphy going to ground level, caught in a good tackle by Tedesco. And it is going to be another ball up. West Perth leading by 6 points, 3-6 to 3 goals straight. Paul Persican, David Clear with you on this Sunday morning, beginning this feast of football on WA football's biggest day. It's going to be Cooper Todd assisting in the ruck. Ashfield gets the tap down, tap forward to Todd. Kick though is going to be turned over. Numbers around for the Tigers, high tackle, and that's going to be a free kick to Thomas Baldwin, just below our commentary position. And Baldwin from right centre wing is going to send Claremont back into attack. No options building on the exposed side of the ground, so he's going to have to go down the line. 3-on-1. West Perth have the numbers. One of those is Antonio. Antonio caught in a good, strong tackle by Jordan Law. And Claremont gained some valuable ground there, 55 metres out from their goal.
Yes, Law. That tackle lingering somewhat. Claremont forwards can't find space at the moment. Reed goes up, Ashfield as well, gets the tap down. Jake Murphy picks up, he's strongly tackled. Tap forward nicely by Todd. Claremont intercept though. Murphy another handball at the back of the pack nicely to Rushforth. Rushforth strongly tackled. Umpires is holding the ball out, pro opportunity. Don't waste no time in playing on, but the kick, it doesn't match the tackle. McGee relieving in defence for Claremont. There was a bit of a wasted opportunity. Oh, talk about a floating ball. As fortunately Claremont got numbers as Bailey Bennett gets the handball out to Tom Curran. He's got some rare space, takes a bounce, puts it out in front of a leading player there who's strongly tackled, and players going heavily, and a West Perth player cops a high one, and so they'll get a free kick there. That was a nasty collision there, but courage shown.
Nelson.
And, Scott Nelson. But Hitchcock there, the ball bouncing off his chest, not quite making the most of that opportunity. So Nelson did well to get up from that collision. Goes high towards the boundary line. Reed taps it towards the line and over it goes. Well, an absorbing contest, Paul.
It certainly has been. Even contest and very physical as well. We spoke about Hitchcock, about their second semi-final performance. So far, he's been held goalless in the first half. That West Perth defence showing its intensity and winning their matchup against that Burleigh Ford, who is wanting a big haul of goals if they want Claremont to lift another reserves premiership. Up they go. This time it's Jukic who gets the first tap out, getting boot to ball towards right centre wing. A lot of holding on. Umpire says play on. Mopping up there is Morgan. Gets the hand pass out. It's a turnover. It's West Perth all around the football, but cleverly tapped though by Laurie. Another turnover. Going at ground level hard there is England, and now Claremont can set it up. Here's Baldwin. Takes a bounce. Runs across left centre wing. It's a long kick towards full forward, looking for Hitchcock. 3 West Perth players trying to hand him, but running it through brilliantly there is the Claremont forward. Gets the kick away. Murphy gets the hand pass out. Curran mishandles. Tap forward. Hitchcock from the boundary line. Don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me he has kicked the goal of the day. Good God almighty, Corey Hitchcock, you little ripper. That's his first, and what a way to bring it up. From the boundary line, under pressure, gets boots a ball off a step and threads it through the big sticks.
Well, he had no time whatsoever, Paul. It'd be great to see a replay of this goal, but geez, he was right near the boundary line. No time to think and just threw it on the boot.
That's goal of the day. Goal of the day so far, right there and there. This is on the Scrap Metal Recyclers replay. Hitchcock, again, under pressure with minimal space, gets the check side in. And what an amazing goal. A telling one for the Tigers. And that is all square again at 18 and a half minutes in this second quarter.
Well, what an unbelievable goal. And Claremont's still yet to register a behind. West Perth has got 6 of them. Will that be crucial at the end of the day? But amazing kick from Corey Hitchcock. We were just saying he's been held goalless. But, yeah, certainly not now. So I've no doubt that will lift his confidence. Up in the ruck here, not a great bounce. It favours Jukic. He just grabs it out of the ruck. He's done well today. Throws it onto the left foot. Up towards centre half forward. Player slipping over for West Perth. That allows player there in Reed to run out of defence. Nicely here. Out to McGee. McGee gets the handball over the top to his teammate in Curran. Curran to Olivia Hitchcock. Well, we're just talking about him. That confidence left. He managed to get 2 or 3 metres on his opponent. And he'll have a shot for goal again out near the boundary line.
And what was smart about Hitchcock's lead, he went directly across the ground, then all of a sudden directed his route towards the left, towards the right forward flank. And again, just caught the West Perth defenders by surprise. He's a very hard leader when he's going for the ball up forward and quick on his feet, as you mentioned.
Quick off the mark. Thomas O'Donnell just trailing him. This is a tough shot, but he likes him from the boundary line. Kicks towards goal. Goal umpire doesn't move. I tell you what, he's got his second. 2 from 2 kicks out near the boundary line. He's started to make his imposition on the game here. Corey Hitchcock. 2 wonderful kicks for goal. The Claremont's 5th. They continue their amazing accuracy. 5 straight 30. West Perth 3-6-24.
And again, that lifts the Claremont team. They were under a lot of pressure for much of this game, and 2 straight goals from Corey Hitchcock. He's starting to open up that haul again. Claremont have got a little bit of that ascendancy going with that 6-point lead. We're 8 minutes out from half-time, and 2 telling goals from Corey Hitchcock with that 7 in the second semi-final, 9 in the last 2 games. My goodness, he's starting to come into the game now and on a real head of steam. As the ball is going to be bounced yet again. We're at 8 minutes out from half-time. What's been an electric half of football here at Optus Stadium on WAFL Grand Final Day 2019. You're live on WAFL website, Facebook page, and also on YouTube as well. Hope you're enjoying this Sunday morning. Jukic getting the first tap out. This time it's picked up by Yem. Jukic trying to regather. Now Claremont having the numbers. They're back under pressure. West Perth soccering it forward there with Ledger. It's going to be a foot race to the football. He's under a bit of pressure there from Nelson, but Ledger wins out. Beautifully smothered there. That allows West Perth for a chance. But Claremont, with that physicality of their own, they're countering West Perth's pressure. And that was deliberate, I think it was. And that's going to be a free kick. It's going to go the way of Bailey Bennett. So Bailey Bennett from left centre wing. He's going to go for the short pass and find Addison Dew, who's played from centre and half back today. And Addison Dew is going to find some options. He doesn't find any, so he's going to have to take the risk down the line. He's looking there for a beautiful mark taken there. Wonderful mark by Thomas O'Halloran, the former old Ivanhoe boy. He's going to send it back to left centre wing. Ball goes to ground. It's in dispute. Running first to it was Hawkins. Hawkins under immediate pressure. Beautiful tackle there from Bennett, who lops up the hand pass. Claremont under pressure again. The tackling has been immense from both sides in this game. Bennett goes with the check side. Lovely kick. And finds Caden Gilbert, who plays on immediately with the hand pass out to Davies. Goes looking for Hitchcock. He was the intended target up forward. Brilliant spoil there by Rotham. Here's Hitchcock again. The ball's going to beat them both. And it is going to be over the line for a boundary throw-in. It's about 30 metres out from Claremont's goal.
Yeah, Jacob Sideris applying a big tackle on Hawkins back there, doing some good work around the ball. Probably almost the smallest against the tallest player, just about. We've got a throw-in, forward pocket for the Tigers. Gilbert in the ruck, this time against Rotham. Ball in a dangerous position, straight in front. Moulton picks up for West Perth. Left foot fires, but straight onto the chest there. It's play on, it's touch ball. Rushworth dodges one tackle. Centres the ball dangerously, almost a mark there. Couldn't quite hold it there for Claremont. Was Alex Manuel. Players dive on the ball and there'll be a bounce down 20 metres out directly in front.
Well, you'd have to say Manuel was a little bit unlucky there. He had plenty of chances, but there's a free kick. There was some holding on. And it is going to be Scott Nelson. He's saying, slow it down, guys. We don't want another turnover here. We don't want to concede to the fast tempo.
Passes it out towards the line. Cooper Todd is there, and it's tough to mark there. He's about a metre out from the line. So quite a defensive kick from Nelson. Players gather around the ball. Claremont have just rested the momentum, probably with those 2 goals from Hitchcock. After West Perth got on top earlier in this quarter. Out of the ruck, Ashfield, or Jukic almost grabs it, but he's thrown to ground. There's a strong tackle, and he's pile driven into the turf by Nelson. That player, let's see who it is getting himself off the ground. I'm not sure if he knows where he is at the moment. Thomas Ledger. Gosh, that was a strong tackle.
Yeah, but he's tough as nails. I'll tell you what, he won't be forgetting that one for a while, but he's back up, and nothing's phasing him at the moment. He's just going to get on with the job. And it is going to be another ball up. A lot of congested football out there. It's about 60 metres from Claremont's goal. Can they get another one just before half-time? Tap there was by Reid. He's been immense in the ruck. Lynch soccers it off the ground, only as far as McGee. But now West Perth through Tedesco can mop up. Tedesco threads his way through the traffic. Gets the kick away. His target was Antonio. Antonio couldn't take the mark. He's under pressure from Daisley. Who's going to keep their feet? It's going to be Daisley. Supreme effort from Daisley to keep it in front of him. He's under immense pressure now from Antonio. Claremont now can mop away. Great effort from Daisley to rescue the contest for the Tigers. And now they're away from the centre. The kick's marked by Bennett. And yes, he was paid the mark. He did hold on to it long enough. Good call.
Well, Daisley almost gave away the free kick against Mitchell Antonio there. Antonio was manhandled, but the umpire deemed that he wasn't grabbed.
But I'll tell you what, again, the effort from Daisley just to keep his feet and compose himself in the contest was impressive. The kick is taken by Baldwin. Baldwin's going to go short, and Jacob Sedaris is going to take another mark. He, again, has been immense this season. They're shipping it back and forth now. Baldwin on right centre wing. Baldwin's going to send it down the line. It's a high kick. Numbers around the football, even for both sides. Gilbert looking for the screamer. Umpire says play on. Great physical pressure there by Bennett. Mopping it up for the Falcons now is Lynch. Threads through 1 and 2. Gets the hand pass out to Ashfield. Ashfield goes down the line towards a 2-on-1. West Perth at the numbers. Beautiful 180 there from McGee. He threads it forward, looking for Gilbert. Lynch out the back, not able to take the mark. Gilbert, beautiful hand pass. Opening it up now to Bennett. Beautiful hand pass out to Curran. Curran centres it towards Hitchcock. And at the last second, it is another West Perth turnover. It is taken by Coleman. Another big chance gone begging for the Tigers. And West Perth through Coleman is going to send it long from centre half back. Down the line, close to the boundary line. Big pack of players flying, and the mark taken there by Slade Hawkins over the top. The young man from the Wanneroo Juniors. He's had an immense morning so far here at Optus Stadium, and Hawkins hasn't got a lot of options inboard, so he's going to send it down the line with that left foot. Huge pack of players. One of those there is McGee. He couldn't take the mark, but out the back is Baldwin. Baldwin's going to switch it across the ground now, finding Ledger. They're going to go across the ground. They're on, but the kick is onto the path of Nelson. Can he produce some physicality? No, he can't, because Bennett just kept his feet there. Wonderful play from Bennett. He's going to chip it short now and finds number 17 there in Callan England from left centre wing. England has plenty of options. He's got a couple of leads. One of them is Hitchcock. He elects to go in that direction. Hitchcock was one of the targets. Gilbert couldn't take the mark. Now taking on the end of that there is Manuel. Manuel was caught in a hard tackle by 2 Falcons, and it is going to be a ball up again. The switch from the Tigers, David, really paying off so far. They've gained a few yards, and they would love another goal on the stroke of half-time.
I get the sense West Perth maybe just hanging on here. Rucknock comes out the back. Player strongly bumped there was Morgan. Goes towards the boundary line and swung around again by Morgan. Hitchcock coming out, but he's intercepted by his own teammate, and that allows West Perth to come in through O'Halloran. Gets the relieving kick out of defence. 2 Claremont players colliding there in attack. Ball goes to ground, but Claremont have got the numbers. Fortunately, out the back for West Perth, they've got a spare player. Player strongly tackled by Josh Bennett. Player there on the ground for West Perth, just dragging himself up.
Tigers and Falcons have a real big chance in this last minute.
1 minute to go. Can either side get a score? Player been bundled out of the pack there as boys. Again, a ball up. Maybe both sides will be happy just to sort of sit on this for the moment.
Yeah, most of those players are looking really spent at the moment. They've had a lot of physicality dished out in this first half.
Gilbert gets it out the back, but Coleman intercepts up towards half forward. Maybe West Perth got a chance to score. Claiming the mark there for Claremont. His player tackled, but the handball comes out the back nicely towards Johnson. Johnson gets a further afield, but well tackled on the intercept and the turnover gained by Claremont. Well, coming out the back here, Claremont got the run of it through England. He plays on, tries to get round his player in Moulton, but he says, you've got to come back. Well, 18 seconds to go and counting. He wastes no time. Gets it forward. Almost a mark there. Coming out was Manuel. Can't quite take it. Reached it on the half volley. West Perth trying to tie it up. There's about 8 seconds to go, and the umpire says, give it to me.
That'll be the last chance, we would think, for Claremont. West Perth will be relieved with that. Siren's just about due to go. In fact, it does. What an immense first half of football here at Optus Stadium in the 2019 WAFL Reserves Grand Final. It is the Tigers leading by 6 points at halftime. 5 goals straight 30 to 3 goals 6 24. And we'll take a break with a couple of quick remarks after the break here at Optus Stadium. Live on the WAFL Facebook page, WAFL website and WAFL YouTube. It is the Tigers at halftime leading West Perth by 6 points.
Grant Car Stereo Morley, proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years. Selling top name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems. Stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley. Or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
And welcome back to Optus Stadium, where we've got a pulsating grand final here between Claremont and West Perth. I think some people following the reserves competition might have thought that today might be a little more one-sided given the result of the last 2 matches. But West Perth have thrown everything at Claremont, and barring some inaccuracy, they could very well have been in front. Claremont just picked up the momentum, as we see, got some of their running style going that quarter, and we'll see some of the highlights here. Alec Johnson kicking off half back, and they rested the momentum with 2 amazing goals from their forward there in Corey Hitchcock. 7 in the second semi-final, and we were just commenting, Paul, earlier that we hadn't really seen much of him up until about the 15-minute mark of that quarter, but just snapped that amazing goal from the boundary line. And we've seen a couple of Claremont players drop to their knees and receive those high tackles. There's McGee going to his feet.
It's always been a point of debate, whether how it's interpreted by the umpires and how the players get those free kicks, whether they go down to the knees, whether they duck their heads and how the umpires would give that. So it's always a big point of debate at any time in the football world. And as you can see, there are a lot of physical pressure being shown by both sides there. Tyson Moulton asserting himself into the contest but couldn't get the mark. And Connell Lynch too is really throwing his body around in that contest. Hitchcock with a beautiful short pass, and England unable to take the mark there. That would have been another great goal for the Tigers. But barring some inaccuracy, maybe the Falcons could have been leading by about a couple of goals in hindsight. But the Tigers, their run and gun style from the half-back line is really paying off. And again, the physicality of this grand final really showing from both sides. Will it carry on in this third term? That'll be coming up very, very shortly. But we've got something very special for all you viewers here this morning at Optus Stadium. Adrian Barrich, a well-known sporting personality here in Perth, of course, with Channel 7, as the highlights will roll on. We'll get to him in just a moment. We caught up with him just a few days ago, but we'll get to that in a moment. But some more highlights here in this grand final. But David, one thing that we also need to consider in this game as well is with Claremont, they got a good run and gun style of play, but if West Perth keep hanging on, then Claremont could get a little bit frustrated. They could waste a bit of their disposal and cause turnovers left, right and centre if the Falcons keep this physical pressure. Yeah,
look, I think Claremont managed to get this lead really out of some individual brilliance. Wasn't necessarily the fact that they were completely dominating. The scoring shots are 9-5 in favour of West Perth, and they'll rue some of their missed opportunities, but they haven't been able to get shots for goal directly in front. I mean, snaps from the pocket, under pressure, hence, the points that they've managed to accumulate so far in this game. But it's been very, very even. I've been impressed with the physical pressure. We noticed that quarter the difference was the play went more up the middle of the ground. Far less boundary throw-ins. Claremont were playing more directly, and West Perth were counter-attacking directly as well. So it was an attractive brand of football.
It was, and the more free-flowing play, from my point of view, really suited Claremont a little bit more because they were able to spread the ground out with some transitional football. And West Perth, they haven't been able to do that in this game. But the physicality side of their tackling pressure, their forward pressure from that forward line, as you could see here, with Daisy Lewis struggling to get around Thomas Medhat with a couple of spins, but not able to get out of that defensive 50, really holding on in there. The mark from Tyson Moulton, again showing his class in that defensive 50. He will be a big key in this second half if he can continue taking those vital marks and stopping the Claremont entry inside that forward 50. And there again, as we mentioned, the tackling, the intensity, the pressure from both sides, we don't see smithering anytime soon in that second half. One of those plays will be a key is Thomas Baldwin, who too has gained some valuable possessions for the Tigers in this match.
Well, maybe in this highlights package, we might see two of the goals that Corey Hitchcock kicked, and one incredible goal, one of the best goals you'll see in WAFL or AFL.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of fantastic personalities, Adrian Barrich, a well-known sporting personality here in Perth, has been named a legend of the game in 2019. He's been heavily involved both on and off the field for many, many years. In fact, the team here caught up with Adrian Barrich just a few weeks ago before the grand final.
So when I found out that I was going to be on the ball, I was unbelievably honoured. There's been some real legends from the Perth Footy Club, and when they called me up and said, it's your turn, Barra, I was just over the moon.
So while we chose Barra for legend status this year, we've always done a legend from the 60s, 70s, and then always tried to incorporate a player from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And I think a lot of people forget that Barra back then was a pretty popular player, but he's also a very good player. Played 150 games of WAFL, and at least 40-odd games for the West Coast Eagles at the time where they were still developing their squad.
Well, it's quite an emotional moment for myself to tell my family, but perhaps didn't get quite the reaction I expected because most of them, well, particularly my kids, haven't really seen me play, so they were a bit surprised that I was being recognised as a legend on the ball. I don't tend to talk about my footy career that much. And I think sport's a great panacea for the community. It brings people together, it keeps families together, it's things that dads can do with their kids, that mums can do with their kids. I would encourage all young people to get out there and stay healthy, have a kick and have fun. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun. Having been an AFL player and a WAFL player, it's the natural fit to sort of help coach my son's team. For me, that's the way that I want to contribute, and I think helping young people perhaps tread that path that you went down and maybe one day play WAFL, if not AFL. If I can help them out, I will. So it's very worthwhile and very satisfying to do that. And then playing in these, I guess, celebrity games as an old Eagle, it gives you a reason also to stay fit and go to the gym and lead a healthy lifestyle. And also, my kids are quite young, so I really want to be there for them across the journey and have a body that is able to do things with them and go camping and go windsurfing and go surfing and play footy, play cricket, coach the team. So staying fit is very important. I've been with Bupa for many, many years, well over a decade now. I'm very happy to be with Bupa and very thankful for their support.
There, Adrian Barrich, an absolute legend of the game, talking with the team thanks to Bupa just a few weeks ago before the grand final. As you can see, those are the times of the remaining two games following the Reserves grand final. Tune into Channel 7 for a great feast of football. 11:40am, the Colts between Peel Thunder and Claremont. And then, of course, 2:40, the big one, the league, Subiaco and South Fremantle, the 1 and 2 in the competition. Will it be Subiaco back-to-back or South Fremantle their first in a decade? More highlights now, thanks to CD Dodd Scrap Metal Recyclers. While the highlights are showing, we'll give you the goal kickers for both sides. Corey Hitchcock has been the only multiple goal kicker with 2 goals for the Tigers. Of course, 9 in the last 2 games. Curran, Murphy and Manuel, the other goal kickers for the Claremont side. In West Perth, Murray, Medhat and Braden Antonio have got the goals for the West Perth side. Of course, they're trailing by 6 points by the Claremont Tigers side here at Optus Stadium. We'll take a look at the possession getters for both sides. Jacob Sedaris with 13. He's expected to feature again in the second half. Thomas Ledger, Jalen McGee, Jake Murphy with 11 apiece, and Thomas Baldwin and Riley Morgan each with 10. Connell Lynch, he too has been fantastic with 13 touches and 8 tackles in that first half. Very physical player he is. Nathan Murray, Liam Tedesco with 8. Thomas Boys, Tyson Moulton and Cooper Todd with 7. We were just rattling off the stats, David. 8 tackles for Connell Lynch in that first half. He's showing his physicality and is a real big threat in that centre congestion. What the Claremont players have got to do is they've got to try and closely man up on him. They've got to try and get things going on with if I could say so myself, Claremont have got to really stop Lynch inside that centre congestion. They've got to play in front of him. They don't want to play from behind because Connell Lynch is going to sweep in and rove that ball brilliantly.
Yeah, that's right. He's been tough in the clinches and plenty of possessions. Jake Murphy's been good for Claremont, but they seem to have more of a team effort that quarter. Claremont not relying just on a couple of players. They're really starting to spread the ball and share it and putting the West Perth defence under a little more pressure. And I think it would have been worse off for West Perth if the likes of Tyson Moulton hadn't been back there in defence. A couple of good relieving intercept marks.
And I think the coach, Blake Arnold for West Perth, has got to keep Tyson Moulton there, either at centre-half back or at fullback, to get him to take those intercept marks and stop the Tigers' entry inside that forward 50, because that's a big key for the Tigers. Transition from defence into attack, their deep penetration with their short kicks, because they like to chip short and gain some ground at a steady pace while exposing some space on the ground. We were just touching on Claremont's stat getters as well. Jacob Sedaris, on the other hand, has been again immense. 13 possessions, 28 in that second semi-final 2 weeks ago, and he's featured again with nearly half the possessions that he's got from that game against West Perth 2 weeks ago. It would have been one-sided ideally from his point of view, but the physical pressure with West Perth has kept him in the game. But on Jacob Sedaris, damn, he's been impressive. Yeah,
he's good. He's close to the ground. He keeps his feet, and he's been able to get some clearances and feed off to his teammates. Those little short kicks of his has been able to find teammates in space. And I note 9 of the 10 top possession winners are all from Claremont. So, as I said, they're really starting to share the ball around. And if we look at the possession, Claremont 59% versus West Perth 41%. They've got, as far as their possessions goes, 163 to 115. So 48 more possessions. 8 more marks. West Perth, amazing number of tackles. 63 tackles to 30. So that's the pressure they're putting on the Claremont opposition. The hit-outs slightly in favour of West Perth. Troy Ukich has done a really good job. The inside 50s, Claremont getting ahead that quarter 21-16. So, yeah, we spoke in the first quarter. Can West Perth keep up this stamina and apply this pressure for the whole game?
That's going to be the big key.
We saw Claremont open up some more space that quarter, and I reckon that'll happen again in the third quarter. So West Perth, almost at some stage, have got to counter-attack or start to make their own mark on the game. They can't keep chasing their opponents. They've got to make the game themselves.
They have to, and one thing they do have to do is get first to the football, because for most of the time they were second to it. The only way they got first to it is applying physical pressure, and that's what's rattling Claremont off their game at the moment. Their brand of football so far has been controlled by West Perth. Not all the game, but in key passages of the game, especially when West Perth were in front. West Perth were not getting first to that ball, but they were getting very physical, and they were tackling hard. That enforced a turnover. So West Perth, if they want to keep in touch with the Tigers, what they have to do is get first to it and create some space on their own at the side of the ground. Claremont, they can do that. They've got to produce their own physicality as well. They're in front, but realistically, West Perth, with more chances inside that forward 50, should have been in front by a little bit, around 1 or 2 goals at half-time. But Claremont, they're in front. They haven't had any blemishes in front of goal, so maybe their accuracy in front of goal could be the key as well. Yeah,
it's certainly helped keep them in the game and ultimately give them a lead. But West Perth, they a couple of times, Mitch Antonio, they got him one-on-one, almost out the back, but thanks to Daisley, he stopped that goal, and Mitch Antonio didn't keep his feet. But if they can create more of those one-on-one situations, the likes of Liam Tedesco, I noticed I think he's probably felt like he's needed to help his defence and midfield by going back there. but they really need him up forward. He kicked 3 in the preliminary final. He's got the strength, the body strength, to keep his feet in the forward line, and he's got the skills as well.
But if Tedesco will go forward, who's going to counter him in defence? Because Tedesco has got that physicality. He's got a bigger frame than some of the back line for the Claremont side. So if he can go up forward and kick those goals, maybe West Perth could get a little bit of a break in momentum. The umpires going out onto the ground. We're just a matter of minutes away from getting the second half underway. It is Claremont leading by 6, 5 goals straight to 3 goals 6 at half-time. The third quarter not too far away from getting underway. Make sure you're tuning in to Channel 7. And while we go to a break, make sure you go to Channel 7 from 11:40 and 2:40 later today for the Colts and League Grand Finals. We'll be back with all the second half action here at Optus Stadium. It is Claremont leading by 6 points ahead of West Perth in the 2019 WAFL Reserves Grand Final.
Grant's Car Stereo Morley. Proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years. Selling top name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems. Stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley. Or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to Optus Stadium. Second half not too far away from resuming here at Optus Stadium in the 2019 WAFL Reserves Grand Final. What is a beautiful Sunday morning. Can't ask for anything better on a day like today. WA football's biggest day. The WAFL Grand Final day of 2019. Here in the reserves, it's Claremont leading by 6 points. 5 goals straight to 3 goals 6. And what's going to be important, David Clear, as he joins myself, Paul Persick, here in the commentary box, is who gets that first goal. Momentum has really been back and forth between both sides. And we were discussing the physicality of West Perth against the run and gun of Claremont. Who's going to really get that first goal? Who's going to come out on top here? West Perth are hanging on. And I won't say by the skin of their teeth because they've still got a half to go. If they can keep that physicality up, they can frustrate Claremont. But Claremont keep that spread across the ground through their back line from Orr to Barton and also, of course, Gilbert, who played a little bit on half-back and retained some of that tempo for the Tigers. But West Perth, if they can keep on tackling and get first to the football, then the momentum could change. But anything can happen in a grand final.
Yeah, it can. And that first 10 minutes is crucial. No doubt the coaches would have imposed that upon the two sides. But yeah, I was impressed with the way Claremont took the game on in that second quarter. Really started to put their mark on the game. And they've got more inside 50. So the West Perth defence have done well because 5 scoring shots from 21 entries really give credit to the West Perth defence. And they've been able to intercept the likes of Hitchcock and Manuel down there. Despite the fact that Hitchcock got away, we can see what a dangerous player he is.
Yeah, he certainly is. But from any angle,
kicks on the boundary line,
that first one, well, that is certainly goal of the morning thus far with that check side kick from the right forward pocket with very minimal space. He was under a lot of pressure, but somehow was able to get boot to ball and thread it through the big sticks. Big tip for Claremont this second half. Would you still be backing the Tigers in?
Yeah, I think so. I just think that 63 tackles laid by the Falcons, I'm not sure whether they can sustain that. And the pace across the ground, Claremont seem to have the edge. So they really need to restrict the Claremont runners. And 9 of the top 10 possession winners are all from the Tigers. So West Perth need to turn that around. I really give them credit for shutting them down in that first quarter, but I'm not sure how long they can hang on.
Well,
they might prove me wrong.
Well, this third quarter will be a telling one in the context of this match. here at Optus Stadium. 5 goals straight, leading 3 goals 6. Second half about to get underway. You're live on the WAFL Facebook page, WAFL website, and also WAFL on YouTube. The umpires in position. The umpires, of course, Jason Gibb, Cam Jones and Lewis Jargo. On the boundary, Mitch Vernon, Bailey Lamont, Ethan Lamont and Lewis Williams. And Jason Tyrrell and Kristen Catrona on goals. Claremont lead it by 6 points. Second half's underway. Here's David Clear.
And we've got Jordan Reid up against Jukic as it was in the start of the game. Nice bounce from the umpire. Up goes Reid. They share the ruck knock. In there is Bailey Bennett. Gets a nice handball. Jake Murphy streaming out of the middle. Straight away. Pass up towards full forward and missed by Caden Gilbert. That allows West Perth in. O'Halloran a booming kick out of defence. Oh, coming through beautifully for Claremont. What a bit of play by Ben Edwards. Gets it up forward. So it's end-to-end stuff at the moment. Caden Gilbert runs onto the ball and pushed out of play there nicely by Sam Rotham.
And again, that thread through the middle again is also going to be telling. That pressure from the centre circle and where Claremont's going to dominate the centre clearances could be telling if they keep this momentum up.
Lovely handball from Bailey Bennett, freeing up Jake Murphy out of the middle. Forward pocket dangerous here for West Perth. Caden Gilbert in front, tries to do a little dinky soccer towards goals. Now there's a player running onto it. Can he pick it up? A soccer out of the middle by Curran. I don't think Manuel touched it. Tom Curran, what an amazing soccer. It was like EPL. He just threw his boot at it, and it almost struck his teammate Manuel on the way through. But Claremont, again, their accuracy is incredible. 6 straight. Let's have a look at this replay of this soccer. They had numbers at the ball. It was just bobbling around at the top of the square. And finally, Tom Curran.
I think it was clever also by Manuel to just do the little splits just in time to clear the pathway for the ball to go through. So clever from both sides.
6 straight 36. Now open up a 12-point lead, the biggest of the game, over West Perth 3-6-24.
And again, we touched on the brand of football that Claremont's playing, that run and gun style, the clearance domination. Well, showing its early evidence. 12 points the difference. Big lead in the game, as Crystal Clear himself mentioned. Reid wins the first tap out. Threading his way through there was Murphy. Players burrowing in. And again, here's Jake Murphy, who's worked hard all day in this grand final. He gets a high tackle, and it is going to be a free kick, and that's 50. 50 metres. Well, you wouldn't want that in a grand final. That 50 is against Jukic. And this will give Claremont another big chance at goal. Troy Jukic, possibly one of the most disciplined ruckmen in the reserves competition. That is a lapse of ill discipline uncharacteristic of the man. So through that 50-metre penalty, Jake Murphy is also going to have a shot for his second goal. Curran's second goal came earlier. So Jake Murphy, off the 50-metre penalty, he's going to kick from about 45. With no breeze to speak of. Jake Murphy for number 2. From 30 metres out, goes for goal. It looks good for the moment, but it did sway to the right-hand side, and it is a behind. So their first blemish in front of goal. They lead it by 13, 6-1 to 3-6, as sending it back into play now is going to be Tyson Moulton from fullback. Moulton plays on, swings on to the left foot. Goes towards the centre square. 3-on-3. Even numbers out there. Brilliant spoil allows Manuel to mop up. Caught in a big tackle there by Lynch. And it is going to be another ball up. We're about 70 out from Claremont's goal. David Clear and Paul Persick with you on this beautiful Sunday morning. Jukic wins the tap out. Lynch overruns it. Now they get boot to ball. West Perth are going to be clear now through Cooper Todd. Antonio overruns it. Beautiful play there from Moulton. The hand pass is turned over there by Jordan Reid. He's been fantastic. Advantage is paid. Over the top now. Nelson almost with the mark. No, that's Moulton, I should say. Going to ground is Gilbert. Gilbert gets caught in a tackle there, and it's going to be another ball up.
Wow.
See, this entry in forward 50 shows the domination early on of this Claremont side. It's going to be another ball up. Jukic again in front position, but loses out to Gilbert this time. Nelson gets the quick kick away. Goes looking now for a West Perth teammate there in Antonio. He gets Jacob Orr caught in a good tackle. Is that going to be holding the ball? It's going to be an interesting one. Umpire says no. And it is going to be a throw up on the centre square. 13 points the difference in favour of Claremont. West Perth, they desperately need a goal to get the tide back their way, but Claremont showing their dominance. The kick there was by Orr. Over the back there was England. England with a beautiful hand pass. Now Claremont putting pressure on West Perth, but the kick was turned over there by Tyson Moulton, who has been valiant. Now West Perth go on the switch.
Yeah, Antonio runs onto the ball. He's got a bit of pace. They need to free up their runners. This is what we were talking about. There's plenty of space back there, but Claremont seem to be getting first to the ball while overrunning it. Allows Tedesco in. Gets the nice handball across here to Johnson. Johnson again was tackled, so the handball not quite effective. Sedaris burrowing around there on the ground. He's supported by his teammate there in Davis. And the umpires just give it to me. Sorry, that was Baldwin in there. So right on the 50-metre line here. It allows Claremont to get numbers round the ball. Umpire's waiting for the ruck, I think, to nominate.
They've got a spare player at the back for West Perth in that forward 50.
Free kick here off the ball, going to West Perth. It's a chance. They're going to go well inside 50 now. That's Big Ashfield. He just handballs off. Over to Tedesco. Bangs it inside to the goal square. Up they go, on the chest, takes the mark. Mark for the Falcons. Exactly what they needed. Looks like Cooper Todd, I think.
It is.
Yep, getting to the front position, putting his body on the line, and he's got a shot for goal. Just metres out from the big sticks.
And look at that. He was stationary when he took that mark. No one came in front of him to spoil. He read it well, took the mark on his chest. He's a very good player on his feet and a very good marker as well, up high or on his chest.
So Todd should have no problems in slotting this through. Bangs it through. West Perth reduced the margin back to 7 points. They needed that. 4-6-30. Trail Claremont 6-1-37. Wonderful mark in the goal square under pressure by the youngster, Cooper Todd.
Also Jack Clark medalist Cooper Todd been elevated to the reserves. And that will be a great experience for him to score that goal in the grand final. Will be a great satisfaction for himself and the Falcons. They get it back to 7 points now. That is a big goal against the run that Claremont had early on in this term.
Yeah, if they can get players out by themselves. We saw over there, Braden Antonio, metres in the clear, able to set something up. And maybe the free kick was a little bit 50-50, but Ashfield, it was funny, he just handballed to the guy next to him. Tedesco is just hanging there and got a nice big long kick into the goal square.
Right.
So
covered a lot of territory too for the Falcons from their point of view. Ball's going to be back there. 7 points the difference. It's been an electric grand final so far. But it's not over yet. We've still got a quarter and a bit to go. So brace yourselves for a great second half of football. Brilliantly roved there by Ledger. Ledger gets the kick towards centre half forward. Manuel under pressure taking the mark. He plays on immediately. Goes looking for 2 targets up forward. Brilliantly spoilt there by Antonio. But Claremont now, it's a 2-on-1. They've got numbers out the back. Mishandling it there was Alexander Manuel. And a few of the West Perth players showing delight. And it is going to be another boundary throw-in. It's about 65 from their goal. They've got a spare player out the back for Claremont, that being Ledger, looking for the sweep. If Reid can get this hit out here, it's going to be a vital one indeed. Reid goes to the front, finds Murphy. He gets caught in a tackle, goes looking for Johnson. Johnson's mopped up there, and it is going to be another repeat in proceedings.
Tell you what, the game's been played in great spirit. I mean, it was plenty of pushing and shoving in the first quarter, but players really focused on the ball.
But you would expect nothing less from a grand final side because the pressure is always up there. Tedesco mopping up. The hand pass is a poor one, intercepted brilliantly. Now the hand pass comes to Morgan, setting it up now for Bennett. Bennett centering the kick, a lovely kick, finding Alexander Manuel on the forward pocket, and he's going to have a shot to increase the margin to 13. Again, that chain of disposal, very vital for Claremont.
Yeah, look, Riley Morgan onto Sedaris, and Sedaris has been so good with those short kicks today, picking up plenty of possessions around the pack. He's very, very fit, and he's often around the ball, and just a lovely pass to Manuel.
This to make it 13 points from a tight angle from 30 metres out. That kick looks good. Manuel, that's his second goal, and a telling one again. They get the reply. They lead it by 13, 7-1 to 4-6. And we're 8.5 minutes into this third term. Beautiful kicking technique by Manuel. And that's on the Snap Metal Recyclers replay. And they get it out to 13. A real telling goal for the Tigers.
Nice chain of handballs set that goal up. Again, teaming well, Claremont. They share the ball together. They seem to have an understanding amongst themselves and between each other about where each other are. And but West Perth fighting really, really hard at the moment.
And you mentioned the key of that gelling that comes from their work in the centre clearance, as was the assists from that last goal.
So 2 goals apiece to Curran, Manuel and Hitchcock for Claremont. So they're proving to be some key players up forward. None of them particularly tall. Manuel's probably the tallest of the 3 of them as a spearhead. So we've got Ashfield up against Reid in the middle. Ashfield extremely tall, does well to get, but well read out of the pack here. Strongly tackled, that was Ledger. Tries to get the handball out towards Law, streaming through. But West Perth intercepting well. Oh, a player coming through there nicely as Ben Edwards gets the handball forward and just surging forward of the Tigers. And they're really trying to get that dash out of the middle.
And we touched upon what West Perth needed to do. They're not getting first to the ball. That's what they need to do.
Yep.
They applied the physicality, but they can only apply so much until they run out of stamina. They got to get first to the ball.
Yep. This one tied up again. Umpire Jago says, give it to me. Up he goes, left-handed. And Ashfield gets it down to a leading Lynch. Lynch is strongly tackled there. Rushforth is caught in a tackle himself. He tries to wrench it clear, but can't do so. And the umpire says, give it to me again. Such a critical clearance, this one. 13 points the margin. West Perth need a responding goal. Ashfield gets it down, follows up his own work nicely. Good work. It gets it into the inside 50. Maybe some holding going on there. Rushforth runs back, relieves the pressure for Claremont, but getting in there nicely there is Johnson. Taps it forward for West Perth. There's a player tackled from behind. Jordan Law.
Gone.
Yeah, he had prior opportunity. Sorry, that was Sedaris. Lovely tackle from Liam Tedesco. He's proving a key for West Perth at the moment. He looks for a leading player coming out from full forward.
Good kick.
Beautiful pass from Tedesco. And they're calling for 50 metres. And West Perth remonstrating.
What's on?
But Mitch Antonio nicely on the lead. A beautiful kick from Tedesco. And it is one. A couple of players going down here. Rushforth. Oh, swinging there is Johnson. He doesn't want to turn it over. In fact, his teammate, Dylan Yem, is pushing Johnson away.
Not very happy with the physical stuff that the Claremont Tigers have been dishing out, but no love lost between these two sides. Antonio, and this will be a big sign of redemption if he can get this goal.
Mitch Antonio now. He's on quite a severe angle. It'll be a great kick if he can slot it from here. It's going out to the left and a minus score for West Perth. So margin back to 12 points, 4-7-31. Trial Claremont 7-1-43.
That would have been another big chance to sew up the momentum for the Falcons. But now here's England sending it out from fullback. That's a good pass and finds Ben Rushford. Rushford just looking for his options now. He's got a couple loose inside that centre square. Looking to go inboard. No, elects to switch it down the line. That's a lovely kick. Finds Caden Gilbert. Gilbert, he too has been immense. Goes inboard. Risky kick. Mopping it up is Lynch from outside the 50. Goes for goal. Is it going to stay straight? Yes, it does. What a goal from Connell Lynch. And West Perth get the margin back to less than a goal. All the players getting around Connell Lynch. His first for the day. And the Falcons are back in the contest.
Well, I think, Paul, third goal from a turnover. Claremont trying to share possession out of the middle, but West Perth just sweating on them. Connell Lynch read that really well. He intercepted that pass and just ran onto it. And there was a player leading, but he said he backed himself. I'm going for it, and it was an accurate kick in the end.
Great summary, David Clear, and Connell Lynch, as we mentioned, again, immense. And he's had 8 tackles up to half-time. And you could add another goal to his name in 2019. And he's played a fantastic grand final. The margin now, 5 points, 7-1 to 5-7.
2 goals apiece this third quarter in just 12 minutes. So the game opening up a little bit.
That's what you want in a grand final, and by God, these fans are getting it here.
Tedesco can't quite stand up, but he follows up the handball, and there's a nice kick out of the middle in towards full forward. Players coming out, Manuel, can't quite grab it. Sorry, that was Hitchcock. Player tackled here for West Perth, and umpire says high. So, and again, a few lingering pushes and shoves. They won't let that player up. Jordan Law better be careful not to give away 50 metres. But Scott Nelson on the bottom of the pack. Getting first to the ball, as you said, Paul Persick. They need to get first hands to the ball. Going wide this time, looking for Johnson. Johnson maybe just gets a little shove out of the pack. Up the back of the pack, there's Cooper Todd reading it nicely.
Lynch.
But he's pushed off the ball. So Ledger gets the kick. And is that out of the full? It is.
Again, great pressure from Lynch as well. You know, getting that smother and the key kick towards the congested area. Again, good play, though, from Connell Lynch. Now it's going to be Alex Johnson that's going to take the free kick. This will be a big chance for the Falcons. They're less than a goal behind. He's being told to give it a move on. Johnson's going to go down the line. A big target there. Tedesco just loses his footing there. Mopping it up there was Law. Law was caught in a good tackle. The umpire says, I will have that ball. Thank you very much.
Yet another tackle from West Perth.
And again, it shows their pressure. Their pressure has been firm. They need to keep it up now, but also get first to that football and get those possessions. Key tap out there by Jukic. Getting the turnover there is Boys. Boys sends it long towards the forward 50. Huge pack of players fumbling. England gets first to it. He was caught in a good tackle. Was that holding the ball? Umpire says no. Hand pass comes from Baldwin to Rushford. Rushford sends it long. Jukic playing in front. Gets heavy contact there from Ledger. But now Claremont mopping it up now. And finding Alexander Manuel on right centre wing. Manuel goes for the short pass. Going over the top there was Hitchcock, and he's going to get the free kick. There was high contact, and it is going to be Hitchcock's free kick about a few metres below our commentary position. Hitchcock's going to send it long down the line towards the pocket. It's an ordinary kick, though.
Don't know if he went for the big spiral there.
No, it was more like a floater than a spiral, but Nathan Murray, he mops up on the turnover.
Good kick.
Beautiful kick. That's what you want. Cooper Todd will mop it up. Gets bumped off the ball as soon as he kicked it. It's a risky kick. Clever punch away. Now that's going to allow the West Perth player in Burke to mop up. He takes a bounce, takes 2 bounces, runs towards the inside 50, goes long from 50, 2 metres out, and he misses to the left-hand side. That was Tyrrell McKenzie with that behind. Big chance gone, begging for the Falcons there. They were right in it. That clever punch there from Coleman. Again, the presence of mind from him to sweep up and allow McKenzie some space with that possession, again, was immense.
Claremont sharing the ball out of defence. Josh Bennett.
5 points now.
Just slowing it down. 13 scoring shots to 8. West Perth up to 75 tackles now, an immense number. Hugging the boundary line with that kick, but strong in front. Tom O'Donnell coming up from defence.
He's been interchangeable in forward and defence so far, but yet again, he's still been able to take those marks.
Resets, puts it right into the teeth of goals. Player launches forward. There's Dylan Yem. Can he run onto it? He's behind the pack, gets it to boot, and gets it through. I'll tell you what, West Perth are back in front. Who would have thought? Claremont went to a 13-point lead, and the Falcons, a spirited comeback. And now Dylan Yem, through some innovative roving, has picked up a absolute opportunistic goal.
They've kicked the last couple of goals, and my goodness, the contest is well and truly back on. And again, Dylan Yem with the presence of mind as we see the replay, thanks to CD Scrap Metal Recyclers. Again, Yem just fumbled the ball out there, but had the presence of mind to go by foot off the ground and score a well-deserved goal. He is pumped, and rightfully so. And that puts the Falcons back in front by a point. We've played 16 and a half minutes in this third term. This game's not over yet. Don't go away from your devices or televisions. It is going to be a frantic finish to this Reserves Grand Final.
16 minutes in. Don't forget 28-minute quarters. No time on.
Here we go. Centre bounce imminent once again. It is going to be Jukic and also Reid to do battle. What a great matchup that has been. No, in fact, it's going to be Ashfield that's going to be in the ruck. They've been rotating in the ruck, as it appears to, of West Perth between Jukic and Ashfield. Murphy gets the clearance kick out towards the forward 50. Brilliantly done there by Manuel. Mops up the hand pass to Barton. He was caught under pressure. Eventually releases the hand pass out to Ledger. Ball goes to ground. Great presence of mind from Johnson to soccer it forward. Heavy tackle there inflicted on due by Tedesco. Todd mops up. Kicks down the line, and a beautiful mark taken this time by Antonio. He's going to release the hand pass now to Burke. Burke kicks towards the left forward pocket and a one-on-one. Beautiful mark taken there by Thomas Medhat. Under pressure, playing in front. He elects to play on. He's going to chip it towards the forward pocket, and Mitch Antonio again with the mark. And he's going to have a shot from a very tight angle. And we'll put it out to a 7-point lead if he can get it again. First to the football, their attacking run and style. They've countered-attacked Claremont in the last few minutes.
They've lifted.
Antonio. This for his first goal to join his brother Braden on the goal-kicking list. Snaps around the corner and misses. Yeah, he just didn't hook it far enough, and that is going to be a behind. But they're at least in front by 2 points. But this game far from over yet, David Clear, as Claremont will reset.
Massive opportunity there for West Perth to open up a little bit of a lead. Anyway, big kick out of defence here for Davis. Out towards Caden Gilbert, but West Perth have got the numbers there with Braden Antonio. They've certainly lifted Paul, haven't they? Their aggression at the Paul has returned from the first quarter, and they're really putting Claremont under the pump.
We touched on it, getting first to the football and remaining aggressive at the ground and in the air. It's paid off so far, but they've still got some work to do.
Up in the ruck they go. Ashfield in front. Gets a little bit of a shove there from Reid. He gets the handball away. Conal Lynch in there. Claremont get the socket kick out of the pack. Coming out of defence nicely there is a player there for West Perth. Up into the danger zone. Medhead up in front. Reading the ball off the pack nicely and kicking towards goal. What a snap there from player. I think that was Jack Burke. snapping it out of the pack. Opportunistic goal again, and they go to an 8-point lead. They've certainly swung the momentum their way, and a wonderful goal there for West Perth.
Well, they've really turned on the intensity here since the half-time break. No doubt Blake Arnold would give them a message: get first to the football, be more creative, and that's what they have done. What an incredible turn of events in this grand final.
Yep. Rover Jack Burke gets his first. All single goal kickers for West Perth so far. But a wonderful snap. And again, almost a turnover coming out of defence, Claremont. They couldn't keep possession, which is what their game's based on.
It certainly is. Keeping possession and rotating the switches. But so far, Claremont haven't been able to do that.
4 goals to 2 this quarter.
Well, there's a bit of a warning in terms of the formation. And that, I think, is going to be a free kick, or is it? The umpire's just sorting it all out, getting the players into right position. Good work by the umpires, just keeping an eye on everybody, making sure they get the formation correct. The time will still go on. It's going to be a throw-in. Ashfield wins the first tap out, roves it brilliantly off his own knock, snaps around the corner. First to the ball there is Yem, gets the hand pass out over to Connell Lynch from 60 metres out, sends it towards Antonio. He couldn't take the mark, roves it brilliantly. Quick hand pass over to Antonio, snaps from 35 metres out, hits the post. And rightfully so, he's disappointed. That's his second chance at goal gone begging. But they have the ascendancy. They lead it by 9 points, 7-1 to 7-10. In this third term, 8 minutes out from three-quarter time. The long kick towards centre-half back, spoiled by Coleman. Gilbert looking for first possession, but the ball beats them over the line.
Chance for us to take a breath. Mitch Antonio, 3 points now.
Yes.
He's shaking his head. He's thinking what could have been.
But nonetheless, West Perth do have that 9-point lead. It's their biggest lead since the first quarter in this grand final. Ashfield gets the first tap out. Lynch and Morgan battling hard. That's been a fantastic matchup in the contest. Moulton, hand pass out to Tedesco. He's under pressure, gets boot to ball. Didn't reach 15. Umpire calls play on Bennett under pressure from Lynch. Now Gilbert will put boot to ball. And the mark taken brilliantly over the top by Jacob Turner.
They're doing a lot right at the moment, West Perth. They're getting in front, getting first hands to the ball, and they've definitely lifted.
Here's Turner from right centre wing. Goes down the line towards the left half forward flank. 2-on-2. Not able to take the mark there was Bennett. And getting first to it this time was Davis for Claremont. And it is going to be another ball up. It's about 80 metres from the West Perth goal. Can they get another one on the stroke of three-quarter time? Curran with the clearing kick towards right centre wing. 2-on-1. West Perth had numbers, but Claremont even it up now. Through Manuel with the hand pass out. Manuel and Bennett combining. This is Manuel. Kick towards the forward 50. Brilliantly picked up there by Hitchcock. Hitchcock's going to go long. 1-on-1 there towards Gilbert, who is playing in front. Out of nowhere comes Rushford to provide support, but the bounce doesn't favour them. Moulton with a beautiful kick, finding Braden Antonio. He's going to take a bounce. Goes inboard now, finding Chalmers. He couldn't take it. Cooper Todd showing some fearless courage. Short chip pass. That was an interesting pass. I would have gone with the hand pass, but Claremont nonetheless will mop up. And inflicting the turnover there is Morgan. And that's going to allow Claremont to steady things as Canon England takes the mark on left centre wing.
Yeah, good work by the big man Reid, getting that handball away. And here they go, getting this short game going. There's Jordan Law. He's been prominent this quarter for Claremont. Another roving type.
Was touched off the ball.
Touched off the boot, Manuel. Oh, he's almost pushed off the ball there. Umpire says he wasn't grabbed. So play on. And good pressure there from the West Perth defence in O'Donnell. So Claremont, a chance to wrest back a goal here. They're 9 points down. They'd led by as much as 13 points this quarter. So a 22-point turnaround from the Falcons. Up they go in the ruck. Oh, the West Perth have got numbers everywhere. They just can't pick the ball up. But finally it allows Claremont in, Bailey Bennett. And that'll allow a ball up. But yeah, West Perth found themselves with numbers at the ball there. Jacob Turner couldn't quite pick the ball up off the turf. Up they go in the ruck for West Perth. Sam Rotham is there. Gets it out the back of the pack. Again, the kick out of defence of West Perth. They have the numbers. Reid there intercepting the ruckman. Setting up the zone. Oh, stolen off him beautifully, but there's a free kick.
There's some high contact, I think.
Free kick. Davis. Coming up from defence. They're setting up the wall. Returns it back inside 50, but misreading it there is Caden Gilbert. Provides an easy mark. There's a player there. Coming out of defence was Rotham. Tries to find an opponent, but there's going to be a turnover here for Claremont as the player comes through in Daisley, and the kick goes well astray. Some pressure applied by the West Perth defence and out of bounds on the full. Well, the tackles, 82 to 47.
That's been a telling point. That's been a telling point in this matchup. The physical pressure has gone all West Perth's way and has resulted in turnovers left, right and centre. Claremont, well, they've got to find a way to control the game again. They've lost it a little bit. They're behind by 9 points. As the kick goes towards right centre wing. Beautiful mark taken there over the top. High above the pack. And Slade Hawkins. Brilliant courage in the air to take that one. He's going to go for the short pass. Risky. And with courage as well goes Nathan Murray. Just below our commentary position here at Optus Stadium.
3 minutes left in the quarter.
Both teams would love another goal. If West Perth can get it, the momentum could be with them in the final quarter. Courage in the air again. Hawkins, 2 great marks.
He's good running. He's run forward.
He was unchecked for about 25 metres there, and Hawkins is going to look for some options. Not a lot of leads presenting to him. He's going to go down the line with that left foot. Covers about 60 metres. Over the top went Antonio. Now here's Yem looking for the hand pass. Braden Antonio keeps it in play with the right foot. Here's Hawkins again, and a mark.
Oh, don't tell me.
What a magnificent mark. That's Medhat. Thomas Medhat with the mark. Running back with the fly to the ball. He's going to have a shot and put the Falcons ahead by 15 if he can get it.
Started to get some aerial supremacy this quarter. They've taken a number of contested marks, which is, again, first hands to the ball, but allowed them to make surges forward.
Thomas Medhat, he's going to steady himself. They've had 3 behinds in this term. Well, 4 behinds in this term, I should say, while they've shot 5. Well, Claremont have only been held to just 2. This foot goal, number 5, if West Perth can get this one. So Medhat, he'll kick from about 40 to 35 metres out with that right foot. Deliberate approach. Starts left. Is it coming back? No, not enough. And that is another behind. That's their 5th of the quarter, but they lead it by 10 with under 2 minutes to go in this third term.
18 scoring shots to 8, would you believe? So just 1.5 minutes left. Can Claremont hang on and not concede any more scores? Davis hugs the line. Caden Gilbert up. Can't quite take the mark, and it's knocked out of bounds by Slade Hawkins.
Now he's had a good couple of minutes, taking some valuable marks and getting some good spoils as well. He's good for a forward centreman. 2
contested marks. So just outside of 50. And Claremont have not been able to maintain possession out of defence.
And he scored 2 goals from a few entries inside that 50, Claremont. They need something.
Up they go in the ruck. Jordan Law picks up. He's throw's called. Yep, good pressure again from West Perth. Thought that might have been in the back, but Thomas Boys sends it inside 50 again, about 20 metres out from goal. Up they go. No one can take the mark. Reading off the pack here nicely is McKenzie, but he doesn't quite get kicked to ball. Oh, look, there's a great tackle from Antonio. And the umpire says no prior opportunity.
And again,
the bit of extras. Tension spilling over here. Claremont getting frustrated.
Looked high on the big screen.
Slade Hawkins takes it out of the ruck one-handed. He can't drop anything at the moment. Strong tackle over the line. Thrown into the turf. And he's a little bit groggy there is Riley Morgan. More aggression from West Perth. Yet another tackle. We're going to get well over 100 tackles today.
11 to 7-1. We'll be back to Optus Stadium after this.
Grant's Car Stereo Morley. Proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years. Selling top name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems. Stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley. Or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Welcome back to Optus Stadium. These are your CD Dot Scrap Metal Recyclers highlights of that third term, and it was all West Perth in the second part of that third term. They got the ascendancy, they were first to the football, and as a result, they shot 5 goals in that term. 4 goals, I should say. 4 goals and 5 behinds. They had a lot of the attacking, but Claremont, they're not out of this. They had plenty of run through the centre. But again, the physicality has just been taking Claremont off their game, but don't discount them. The run from Jake Murphy at the start, impressive, leading to that first goal for the term, with Tom Curran and Alexander Manuel hitting the scoreboard early. And that clever soccer goal there from Tom Curran, allowing Claremont to shoot the first goal of the third term. Good presence of mind from both players. But again, that pressure is proving its fierce signs for both sides.
What happened? I mean, what happened at about the 12-minute mark of that quarter? Claremont had got to a 13-point lead, and they looked to start to wrest the momentum of West Perth. They had the run, but West Perth lifted, and it was a real statement of desperation. They started to win in the air, the contested ball. The likes of Slade Hawkins taking marks above their head. Mitch Antonio was lively in the forward line, however, kicked 3 points, but they were getting first to the ball. When the ball hit the ground in their forward line, they were first to it.
Yes.
That created opportunities. Now, the inside 50s are really interesting here, and it shows, really, that West Perth forwards have been a little more effective. The inside 50s, Claremont lead 33 to 28. However, Claremont have only scored 8 times out of that 33. Very, very low percentage. Credit to the West Perth defence. West Perth have scored 18 times in 28 entries.
Yes.
And so their forwards have been a lot of the time getting first to the hands of the ball. When the ball's hit the ground, they've been there. Now, they've been a little bit inaccurate. However, that's just, I suppose, that sometimes the congested nature of their forward line.
And we touched on it earlier in the game. The tackling has been so important for West Perth. The tackle count dominated by the Falcons, 85 to 47. That is an immense domination in that. But what the question is going to be heading into this final quarter, David, is can they hold on to it? Can they keep that physical brand going and win this premiership? Claremont, they're going to do everything they can to switch the margin back their way. They've got their brand. Open up some space at the side of the ground, just like you were seeing here with this passage of play with Jacob Sedaris with that centering kick over to Manuel. Find some space, get that chain of passes going and shoot for goal. Fantastic play it was there for Manuel to get that goal at a vital stage in the term. They need to do more of that and get first to it.
Yep, goal scorers for both sides. For Claremont, Tom Curran, Alex Manuel, Corey Hitchcock 2 apiece. We didn't see anything of Hitchcock that quarter. Jake Murphy 1. West Perth all singles. Braden Antonio, Conal Lynch, Dylan Yem, Thomas Medhat, Cooper Todd and Jack Burke. And some of the leading player possessions on the field. The leading possession winner is Conal Lynch, 18 possessions. Jacob Sedaris 17. Jake Murphy from Claremont 15. And Liam Tedesco, wonderful third quarter, 15 possessions himself. The next 5 are Claremont, Riley Morgan, Tom Ledger, Jalen McGee, Jordan Reed, doing really good in the ruck, 13 possessions and 23 hitouts. He's played a wonderful game. Tom Baldwin and Callan England. So Cooper Todd, I tell you what, 12 possessions and a goal for a youngster has really shown a good head in this Reserves Grand Final.
And he's coming of age this season, is Cooper Todd, of course, being a big top contender in the Jack Clark medal and taking a couple of good marks under pressure. And that certainly is going to be a big key in this final term. What are you thinking, David? Are you changing your tip, or you could still back the Tigers from here? Because
I'll have to stay with it. I'll have to stay with it. I think West Perth have an extremely taxing brand of football, but I'm so impressed with their aggression and their intent. I'm really a little bit mixed at the moment, but I've got to stay with my original. What about yourself?
I'm still going to go with Claremont here. I think they'll back themselves in. Here we go. Final term underway. It's the Falcons leading by 10 points. It all comes down to this. Reed gets the first tap out, but loses out there to Jukic. Jukic soccers it off the ground, but only as far as Gilbert. Gilbert now will open up some space across the ground with a short pass out to England. England threads his way through 1 and 2 tackles. With that left foot, he goes towards the forward 50. 1-on-1 contest. Great spoil there from Antonio. Ball goes to ground. It's heavily disputed between 2 Tigers and 2 Falcons. Feathers are going to be flying in this one. Umpire calls play on. High tackle there on Lynch, but the ball's going nowhere further. It is going to be another ball up, about 80 metres out from Claremont's goal. First goal in this quarter will be vital. Reed gets the first tap out again. Besto now, he loses out that one. to Nelson, and it's going to be another ball up this time. It was Bennett who was caught in that tackle.
I'll tell you what, if Claremont don't lift their intensity around the ball, they are not going to overtake this lead. West Perth, first the ball, their intent is more than Claremont at the moment.
It certainly is, but so far Claremont will have that first entry through England, who snaps it around the corner. Trying to spoil there was Moulton. Getting on the end of that there was O'Donnell. O'Donnell gets boot to ball before he gets caught. England unfavoured by the bounce. West Perth have 3 numbers around the football. That's going to allow Tedesco to mop up with a beautiful kick. Goes looking for his teammate there. Now Tedesco mops it up, running unchecked. It's a high kick towards the forward 50, but getting on the end of that there was Gilbert. Unable to take the mark. 2-on-1 in favour of the Falcons. Hard tackle there on Gilbert there by Yem. Well, and it is going to be another ball up. They've gained some ground.
That's just pressure. Baldwin spilling that mark. He just felt that he was going to be hit from behind.
Here they go now. Tedesco with the first hit out. They're going to clear it out towards the forward 50. Antonio playing from behind. He couldn't take the mark. Claremont under pressure. Now sweeping it up there is Grant. But Grant gets caught again. It's another ball up. They got it where they want it, West Perth.
Again, that tackling pressure immense on Daisley.
And that's what it's been telling throughout this game here. Falcons in that forward 50 now. Antonio will get the first tap out. Getting on the end of that there. Here is Antonio snapping over the shoulder. I was looking for Mitch Antonio, but holding him off there was Lewis Daisley. And it is going to be a boundary throw in. They got it where they want it.
West Perth, no signs of slowing down at the start of this quarter. They're winning those clearances, winning those pack contests.
Boundary throw in. 30 metres out from their goal. Yem gets the first tap out, but getting on the end of that there was a West Perth player. They're going to kick it over the top. Nelson just out of reach for him. And a boundary throw in. But again, if they lock it in that forward zone, well, that was Medat, I should say. If they can keep it locked in that forward 50, they're going to find a way to get a goal here.
So throw in. We've got Ashfield, but it'll favour Reed. Just grabs it out of the ruck and drops it immediately. Socket away by Ledger.
That's not deliberate.
West Perth calling for deliberate, and he's called it. He's called it.
That's an interesting one.
He upheld the appeal from the West Perth players and Liam Tedesco. I wonder if he's going to have a shot from here. He's kicked 1 point so far today.
You've got a couple of leaders inside that forward 50. My call would be set it up.
West Perth bench, they can't sit down. He goes for the pass, but it's intercepted by Ledger and takes the mark. Well, Cooper Todd made the lead, but didn't really come off the boot correctly from Tedesco. So Ledger takes the pressure off, looking for Gilbert, but he's 1-on-2 at the moment. Good spoil by Moulton. Picked up nicely here for West Perth by Burke. Gets the handball, almost to the advantage there of player and boys running forward. Tedesco throwing his weight in there. Snapped around nicely this time by Boys. And there's a mark on the chest. Well,
it's Medhat
playing in front. Tom Medhat. It's been dangerous up there. Several marks. 1 goal, 1 he's kicked. Again, winning that ball at ground level, West Perth. Boys, a couple of possessions there. So Medhat, well, wouldn't this put a cat amongst the pigeons? Let's open up a potential 16-point lead. And the way they're playing, they're going to be very, very difficult to overrun. Tom Medhat. He's going to kick from about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle. Deliberately coming in. The kick looks pretty good. It splits the middle. West Perth 16 points up in the 2019 Grand Final. We're 4 minutes in, 24 minutes to go. 8:11:59. Lee Claremont 7:1:43. And again, Paul, locking it in their forward line, not allowing Claremont to take it out.
And that's been a really big key for the Falcons, keeping it locked in with physicality and close tackling, something that Claremont haven't been used to by the Falcons across the season so far. They were beaten in the 3 meetings in the regular season by the Tigers, but this is a grand final. This could be a big turnaround. They have kicked the last 5 of the last few minutes in this game. Claremont have only been able to just 2 since half-time, and now it's desperation football for Claremont. The premiership could be heading back north.
Could be.
But there is still 20 minutes to go, 23 minutes left. So anything can happen in grand final football. That's Medhat's second goal, by the way. And that's the first of the multiple goal kickers. Jukic stayed down. Gets the tap out. Morgan mopping it up there. Good work by Morgan at ground level. Getting the hand pass out to England. Now they're threading it through the traffic. Sedaris, hand pass out to England. Running in unchecked. Centers the kick. Partially smothered there by Jukic, and Tedesco is going to mop up the turnover. Rushed kick on the right foot towards a 3-on-2 there. Heavy contest. Claremont had the numbers at the back of the football. Gilbert almost caught. He's under pressure. Goes to ground. Eventually releases the hand pass out to Baldwin, and Baldwin will get it for the Claremont side. England goes to ground. Regathers. Beautiful kick on the right foot, opening up some space and finding Ledger. Ledger goes for a bounce. He goes from 55 metres out. It was a misdirected kick. Is he going to let it through for a behind? Yes, he will. The margin now to 15 points, 7-2 to 8-11. We've played 6 minutes.
Well, Claremont are going to have to find those acts of desperation. They need to get the ball to their open running players, but they can't do it if they're not winning the clearances. So West Perth kick out of defence here, decide to come the near side. Hugging the boundary line. Reid is there. So is Ashfield. Ashfield gets first hands to the ball. Beautifully read off the pack here for West Perth. Nicely is Chalmers. Chalmers gets it up the boundary line, but his kick is astray and it goes out of bounds on the full. Due to relieve the pressure. Tries to get it going quickly. Ben Rushforth. Here they are chipping it around. Oh, bit of pressure there from Yem coming off the bench. Almost intercepted. Riley Morgan. He's had a tough run of it. Puts it out in front. Good pass. Finds Giorgio in the middle. Almost smothered there. Not before he gets it up forward. Up in front. Can't quite take the mark, Claremont. And relieving the pressure again. Here's Cooper Todd. And finds his teammate running out of the wing.
Johnson.
Johnson takes the mark.
From left centre wing.
Slowing it down. And players getting out on their own now for West Perth.
This is what they're doing now. They're just controlling the tempo. Getting it short.
There's Antonio. Mitch Antonio's had a good second half. Hugging the line. Looking out there for Medhat. He can't quite take the mark. And it goes out of bounds. So about 60 metres around from the Falcons' goal.
One more goal and maybe that could be death knells for the Tigers. But who knows? There's still 21 minutes in this game, so the momentum can still change. Not ruling them out, but they have got a mountain task to climb with this margin. Jukic gets the first tap out. Lynch swings onto the right foot. He goes inboard towards the centre corridor. Poor communication from the Tigers. That's going to allow Antonio to mop up and maybe seal the premiership for the Falcons. Antonio gets his second goal and the Falcons go on to a 3-goal lead. A magnificent goal from Antonio. 21 points the difference. 9-11 to 7-2 in this grand final. Could it be the red and the blue in 2019?
Well, mix up there between Lewis Davis and Ben Rushforth. Unfortunate, really. They both went for the mark, and that allowed the speedster, Braden Antonio, in to score his second goal. And a critical one. Jesus, tough for Claremont now. But what a spirited comeback it's been, and it just continued their surge. Is that 6 in a row?
Yes, it is.
Well, that trophy, we're 20 minutes away, and there's a free kick out of the middle. I think that might be a positional incursion there, penalty. So Ashfield puts it forward again for West Perth. Up it bounces. Jake Murphy gets the handball away. Knocked out here. Nicely picked up for Claremont by Bennett. Jaden Bennett. Callum England showing his poise. It's a lovely pass and finds the player Barton in the middle of the ground. He wastes no time in playing on. Gets another pass up forward. There's Bailey Bennett this time. Looking for a pass. That's into a congested area though. Hard for Claremont forwards to mark that. West Perth creating the contest, and it'll be a ball up. Well, trying to find that leading player, but West Perth have filled that space well today. Haven't allowed those space for the Claremont forwards. Caden Gilbert up in the ruck against Hawkins. Gets the ruck knock nicely down, and there's a run here for Bailey Bennett. He's on his own, straight in front, but he can't finish it. Well, what a golden opportunity that was. But again, I think that's perceived pressure. And a minor score for Bennett. 7-3-45. Trail West Perth 9-11-65. Nice work by Sturgio getting the handball forward.
Well, that was a real big chance there. Banfield was in great position. Was directly in front, but unfortunately, that shot just slewed wide, and that could be a chance gone begging. Maybe their biggest chance, but they still can win this. But West Perth have got the ball, turned over, brilliant pressure by the Tigers. Gilbert releases Banfield. Banfield with a quick hand pass now to Manuel from 50 metres out. Beautiful pass, and goes to Alexander Manuel. That was by Hitchcock, that pass was, and finds Alexander Manuel from a very tight angle. He'll kick from about, well, let's say 40 metres out. This to get it back to 14 if he can get it again. locking it in that forward 50 is what Claremont need to do. They need to counter-attack the perceived pressure by the Falcons. So, Manuel, this fort number 3. Starts straight, but it goes wide, and that is a behind. 7-4. Plays 9-11. We played 10.5 minutes in this final term here at Optus Stadium.
Well, it's Claremont's turn to become inaccurate now.
Yeah, well, West Perth were for much of the game, but now the ride is going the way of the Tigers in terms of their inaccuracy. But they've got it where they need it, so they can inflict a turnover and score another goal. But West Perth at the moment, they've got it in their possession, and it's Sam Rotham who takes the mark. They're going to slow down the tempo here. They'll now get it back to that player in question. That is Thomas O'Donnell. He's got no options, so he's going to move it on. Sends it down the line. Big pack of players flying now. One of those was Antonio. He couldn't take the mark. Another one of those was Ashfield. Ashfield gets bogged down, and it is going to be another ball up. They're about 60 out, I should say, from the Tigers' goal. They would love another one.
I get the sense the Falcons are trying to slow it down a bit. Could be an error this stage in the game. There's so much time to go, 17 minutes.
And Claremont can mop down this margin in that space of time, but what they have to do is stop that Falcons pressure. They need to open up some space and catch the Falcons defenders off guard.
Oh, play bold over there.
Heavy tap there from Ashfield there. He had that big leap go his way, and it's going to be a repeated stoppage. So they've had about 1.5 minutes of this
like the Rugby
final
Union
term.
World Cup at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, Australia did win their opening game against Fiji, so signs are looking good for them. Meanwhile, Curran tries to thread his way through. He's caught by 2 Falcons. One of those there was Scott Nelson, and it is going to be a ball up. They've gained about 15 metres here, Claremont. They've got a spare player out the back, do the Falcons, for that hit out. Big tap there from Reed. Reed gets it out wide. Now Morgan this time, but West Perth with the numbers. They mop up now. This is Burke. Burke with the centering kick towards right centre wing. Good pressure there by Murphy. He gets caught in a tackle. Now Rushford turns it over. Mitchell Antonio with the hand pass. But he was hand passed into a tackle there by Alexander Manuel, and it is going to be another ball up.
Yep, good tackle by Jordan Law there.
It was a good tackle.
Worked hard today.
He certainly has. He's been a valiant player for the side. Law will get it back now. He swings onto the left foot. And now this time West Perth have the numbers again through Rotham. Rotham's going to send it down the line with the left foot. Over the top. Brilliant mark. No, it wasn't paid. Umpire calls play on. One of that there was Lynch. Lynch running out the back, but caught in a great tackle there was Hawkins, and it is going to be another ball up. It's below our commentary position. We've played 13 minutes. West Perth leading by 19.
Up they go. Reading it off the pack is England, who's been busy this quarter. Looking for a play up there in Ledger. Comes off the boot and goes out of bounds. Well, West Perth holding Claremont at the moment. The margin is 19 points. We've got 15 minutes to go in the quarter.
Coming onto the bench there now is Cal Coleman. Been a bit quiet in patches, but when he's contributed, it's been a great effect for West Perth.
So, up they go. Jake Murphy reading the pack well. Puts it out in front of Callum England. Can the speedster run onto it? He can. One grab. Gets the handball across to Sidiris. Sidiris just outside 50. Too far out to score. He looks for the pass and he finds a teammate who's going to have a deliberate shot for goal. 35 metres out directly in front, and that's Isaac Barton.
Brilliantly set up there it was from England. Just threading his way through, opening up some space on the exposed side of the ground. A good pass there by Sidiris. Just slowly catching his teammate there on the lead, lowering his eyes and allowing Barton to take the mark uncontested. Good play from Claremont.
This has to go through from Barton. Lines up, kicks deliberately, goes away to the left, another miss. Well, Claremont ruining these missed opportunities. They're creating the chances and not executing at the moment. So they've kicked 4 points this quarter.
They've been held goalless in the term with that in mind. They now lead it by 18 to West Perth. Moulton's going to send it back into play. Heavy physicality in the contest. The ball roams free. Clever punch away there from Law. Allows Manuel to mop up. Law gets it back. Goes inboard now, finding Baldwin. He elects to play on, goes looking for a Hitchcock now, but brilliant play there from Manuel, pushing his opponent out of the contest. Good use of the body, but again, the West Perth pressure holding up. Antonio was the man out in front, but this time Law mops up the turnover. The kick is going towards Manuel. Beautiful mark by Manuel, getting himself into the best position, and will have a shot. This needs to go through from Claremont's point of view, but he's on a tight angle.
Trying to creep round and make a less of an angle, but the umpire's onto it. Well, will he go the banana or the left foot screw kick? He's going to go the left foot.
He's going to the left foot. Manuel goes for goal, and that's another miss. Well, I think you can maybe say Claremont have had their chances. They've still got 13 minutes. They can kick a couple of goals, but their accuracy...
Yeah, 2 straight to 5 points this quarter. Yet another kick out from West Perth. They hug the boundary line, looking for Ukic and Hawkins. Up they go. Reid punches away. Beautifully read off the pack here by Ben Edwards. Wheels around on the left. Handballs in front of himself. He puts his head over the ball and gets crunched. And West Perth player copping the worst of that collision. That was O'Donnell.
Well, that could be a key contribution. O'Donnell throwing his body on the line there. That's what you need in a grand final.
17 points or 3 straight kicks. The difference at the moment. Reid in front. Taps it to the advantage of Ledger. Ledger throws it onto the left. He's barreled over. There's only a player there in defence. He drops the mark. Handballed away. So maybe West Perth feeling a little bit of the pressure now. But they've gone into a little bit of defensive mode. Allowed Claremont to lock it inside their 50. But again, the West Perth defence have just been outstanding today. So we've got the throw in. 25 metres out from the Claremont goal. Reid knocks it back inboard. Tapped over the back. Claremont have got the numbers. It's handballed away to Ledger. Can he evade the tackle? No, he can't. Looks for a pass, and it's good. Finds his teammate there, and Josh Bennett. He might be a little bit far out to score. He says, calm it down. Let me take a shot.
They need to. They have to take the risk now, or otherwise that premiership could be going
to Ledger. Ledger reckons he can take it on. Kicks it towards the teeth of goal. He won't make the distance. Up they go. No mark taken. Ball goes to ground. In fact,
it is a mark.
The umpire's paid a mark. Well, interesting. I'm not sure whether he held it long enough, but he said Jordan Reid did enough to hold it. Reid wasting no time. 10 metres out. Kicks a goal. Well, that makes it 11 points. 2 straight kicks. Interesting decision. But there was definitely 2 hands on the ball. But umpire deemed he held it long enough. And that's the goal Claremont were looking for. Let's have a look at this replay.
This one will be interesting to tell. Let's see Reid coming out from the back.
Well, yeah, in that replay, yeah, he probably held it long enough when you slow it down a bit.
Yeah, when you do slow it down, it's a little bit easier to interpret. But a good mark it was, though, from the back of the pack by Jordan Reid. That's his first goal. And now it's back to 11. So maybe there's still a little bit of a hint for the Tigers. Yeah. Don't rule them out.
Lots of inside 50s now. They're up to 42 to 31.
The pressure is here for West Perth. They've got to put in a little bit more. They've got another 10 minutes to go. We're in the last 10 minutes of the game here at Optus Stadium. A key clearance here is vital in the context of this match. Ukic winning the first tap out now, but England sweeps in, soccers it off the ground towards the edge of the centre circle. Getting first to it there was Nelson. Needs to keep his feet. Does. Was he caught? Yes, he was. What's the umpire going to say? He's going to let it go. The hand pass comes forward from Murray. He was looking for Tedesco. Tedesco and Coleman combining well. That kick was an interesting one. It stays in play, but good pressure there by the Falcons getting that one out and resetting on left centre wing.
Good work by Nelson. Opposed to Sidiris. Kept his feet.
And Sidiris too. He's had a lot of the football. He's been effective in parts in this matchup. Now a throw-in. Cleverly tapped out there by Gilbert, who's rotating with Reid. Reid has gone to the forward line in this final term. Maybe add a little bit of height and muscle to that inside 50. And that could be an interesting move, maybe a flag-winning move if Claremont can mop up these last 2 goals. But West Perth, they'll hold on for as much as possible. The hand pass comes away now. Gilbert. They're going to mop it up here. It's 2-on-2. Under pressure now is West Perth. Getting it out there was Manuel. Manuel swings onto the right foot, looking for Reid. Couldn't take the mark. Cleverly spoiled there. Now West Perth under pressure. This time it is Moulton who gets the booming ball out towards the right half-back flank, and it is going to be a boundary throw-in. They need it clear as much as possible, West Perth. Claremont, well, they've got it in their territory. Another goal here. They're back in it.
Yeah, great work by the West Perth defence again. Clearing that ball outside of 50. So many times it's happened today. Up they go in the ruck. Gilbert against Ukic. Gets the ruck knocked down. Claremont got plenty of numbers at the back of the pack. Diving on the ball's Curran. He's dived upon. And the umpire says, yep, dragged it in. So Liam Tedesco will get the reward. He hasn't paid that a lot today. It's an interesting decision.
I think that's only 3 times, 3 or 4 times in this second half that he's paid it. But Tedesco again showing his value in this second half.
West Perth again showing signs of slowing it down. He goes up the wing. You think he's gone too far, is he? Has it gone out in the full? It has.
Yes.
Trying to hug the boundary line too much. So Not quite sure who's going to take the kick here. Ben Edwards chewing up valuable time. No time on in these reserves grand finals. Just 28 minutes. Nice pass to Manuel. He's been good this quarter. Sorry, that's player there in England. A dodgy pass, but knocked forward by Claremont, going valuable metres, running onto the ball. Here is Ledger. Coleman under pressure. Can he pick it up? He's allowed room from his teammates. Barging through in there for Claremont is Morgan. And they'll create a contest. 40 metres out directly in front.
There was a bit of a lack of talk there in that defensive 50. You need that communication.
Up they go in the ruck, Jukic and Reid. Jukic gets it down, but straight to a Claremont player. He's tackled around the neck, maybe. Davis. Sorry, that was a player there in... it was Davis, actually. Down they go. West Perth, head over the ball. Tedesco throwing his body on the line. Cooper Todd's in there as well. Ben Edwards for Claremont, rush forth. And they can't make any ground. Well, valuable time ticks away. We've got about 6.5 minutes left in this game. Margin 11 points. Jukic gets it down. Player grabbed. He's grabbed by Reid. And yet another ball up. Well, can Claremont get it clear here? So many players around the ball. Knocked down by O'Donnell, picked up by England. He's slung to the ground. A clearing kick out of defence here for West Perth. That's by Hawkins. Running onto the ball, but a bad bounce. But Antonio makes the best of it. Kicks it up towards half forward. Lovely pass to Medhat. Well, they've opened up space here, West Perth, and they'll just slow it down. Holding that lead of 11 points.
They've only got 6 minutes of play remaining. Here's Medhat. From right centre wing. Tedesco looking to get on the end of that now. The Tigers are now under pressure. Manuel working hard there. So is Rushforth. Is that going to be holding the ball? No, the West Perth players wanted it. Dillingham remonstrating with the umpire, but it is not to be. But
did drag it in.
It looked interesting from the naked eye, but it's not to be. And now it's in their attacking 50 for the Falcons. One more goal, and that could just about do it. But Claremont, they need to be as intense. Big punch away, only as far as Coleman. He swings onto the right boot, inside the 50. Good use of the body there by Addison Dew. He takes a vital mark, and now Claremont are going to switch it up here. He passes out to Curran, Tom Curran. Under a lot of pressure, snaps over the shoulder, good presence of mind. Now here they go, the Claremont side, through Sedaris. Sedaris short pass, out wide to Manuel, who's pushed up the ground. No, that's England, I should say. England, hand pass, out to Sedaris, under pressure. Great work in the tackle there by Nelson, but Sedaris got the better of him. Snaps over the shoulder towards the forward line. Goes looking for Reid. Was he out of bounds? Yes, he was, according to the umpire.
Great work from England and Sedaris, just willing it forward.
Here they go now. Boundary throw-in, about 40, 35 metres out from the Claremont goal. Another goal to Claremont, and it's going to be on for the last 5 minutes. A straight fight. Under pressure there is, I think it's Yem, and it is going to be another ball up.
4.5 minutes remain.
I know that was Jacob Turner, in fact, with that tackle. Throw in. 45 metres out. Lynch looking to rove it, but this time it's done brilliantly by Sedaris. Gets it onto the left foot. He's one target on his own. Claremont plays on his own, and he takes the mark.
Well, Jake Murphy acrobatically soccering that ball out of mid-air, and fortunately lands right in the lap of this player here in England. So bit of fortune for Claremont, but they are just willing and surging it forward at the moment.
Well, you need every bit of luck at times to get back into this game. Well, that was no luck in that one. That was just good acrobatic skill there from England to take the mark. So this, to get it back to a 5-point game from 40 metres out. Goes for goal. That looks good. It's game on! England gets his first goal. And it's now a 5-point margin, 9-6 to 9-11. It's a straight fight for the last 4 minutes of this reserves grand final. David Clear, it's game on.
You couldn't have written a script better for this game, this finish. And Claremont have willed themselves back into this game. They're starting to win more contests around the ball. And I just thought 10 minutes ago, West Perth showed signs of slowing it down. Maybe that's the fatigue coming in. But they played so well from half-time right through to the midway through this quarter. They completely dominated, kicked 6 goals in a row. Will it be enough to win the game? We shall see. But Claremont, they're surging forward. There's 3 minutes to go, 5 points the difference. Who will take away the 2019 WAFL Reserves Premiership? Such an important clearance, this one. Nice bounce from the umpire. Ashfield gets it down. Jake Murphy and Tedesco go at it. They dive on the ball. Handball comes at the back to Ashfield. He's strongly tackled by Curran. Oh, Antonio, great skill to get around his teammate. Opposition goes into the West Perth forward line. Running onto it, McKenzie. He can't quite handle the ball. Handball comes out Claremont's way, but it goes astray. This time to Coleman. Conal Lynch mops up. Oh, what a smother there from his Claremont opposition and Jake Murphy. However, the handball comes out to Braden Antonio. Fires on goal and out to the right. Could be a valuable point. Puts him 1 goal straight up. He's kicked 2 goals, 1, and we have just over 2 minutes remaining.
It's game on now. The kick out goes towards Gilbert. Gilbert now rebounds. Goes down the line. Brilliant punch away there from Medat. Ball's going to trickle over. It's going to be a boundary throw in. 2 minutes to go.
No time on, remember.
It's straight. It's a straight fight. A straight fight to the finish. It's one straight kick in it between West Perth and Claremont. 66 plays 60. Big contest going forward. Ashfield gets to front position. Lynch ricochets off his foot, and it is going to be another boundary throw.
That would have been a brave decision. Played deliberate for that one. Well, 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. That's all West Perth have to hold out for. They'll be throwing numbers back in defence at the moment.
They've been beaten in all 3 meetings by the Tigers this season. But could this be a big source of revenge for West Perth? Ashfield palms it with 2 hands. Is that deliberate? No, it's not. Good call.
The important fact with no time on, every time it goes out of bounds, it chews up 15 seconds.
So West Perth, what they've got to do is play stoppage after stoppage, frustrate the Tigers. But the Tigers, they've got a few spare players out the back. This clearance will be vital if they can get it. First tap out of there was by Gilbert. Now getting possession is Boys. Boys gets caught in a beautiful tackle. And it's going to be another stoppage inside the last minute of the game.
West Perth are just going to try and lie on this.
That's what they need.
They need to punch it clear here. Caden Gilbert needs to get it clear for Claremont. He tries his best.
They need to now. Dew caught hard in the tackle, struggling to get it out. And it's going to be another ball up.
33 seconds left. West Perth looking more likely now to take this flag. Resisting a surge in Claremont. Jake Murphy saying he's got to give it back.
Time's chewing up. Time is being chewed up now. Gilbert gets the first position. Slipping over there was a Claremont player. Getting it boot to ball was McKenzie. McKenzie takes the kick, and it's been marked there by Hawkins. He's been told to slow it down. It's going to be the year of the red and the blue. They were beaten 3 times by the Tigers, but for 2019, as Hawkins goes towards the 50, it's the year of the mighty Falcons. It's a grand old flag. West Perth are reserves premiers for 2019. The people of West Perth celebrate. This flag is yours.
As we hear the grand old flag resound across Optus Stadium. What a victory. They haven't beaten Claremont all year. Look at the players, absolutely jubilant. A magnificent comeback from the Tigers in the last quarter, but they just ran out of time in the end. And the West Perth defence, they were absolutely brave today. So resilient, repelling so many Claremont attacks. And and obviously that feeling of losing a grand final, particularly when you come in favourites, Paul,
yeah, absolutely,
is devastating for the Tigers.
When you've only lost 1 game this season and you're heavy favourites heading into this grand final, it is a bitter pill to swallow. But Claremont also deserve a lot of credit, as you said. I mean, great game, fantastic football. They were just caught off guard by the physicality of the West Perth side. But for the Falcons, what a game, what a triumph. It's their first flag since 2014 and only their second in over 50 years of WAFL Reserves football. Let's go to the stats, David Clear. And again, what we spoke about throughout the game, the tackling was the big key. Yeah. They finished with over 100 tackles.
Yeah, 102 tackles, putting immense pressure on Claremont. They had 63 at half-time against Claremont's 64. Claremont had a lot more possessions. In fact, they had 291 versus West Perth's 224. Amazingly, 67 more possessions. But the rebound outside of 50, West Perth 34, Claremont 25. Just shows what a great job the West Perth defence did all day. The leading goal kickers for both sides. Both sides kicked 9 goals, of course. For West Perth, Braden Antonio and Thomas Met had 2 each. One Conal Lynch, Nathan Murray, Dylan Yem, Cooper Todd and Jack Burke. A magnificent snap in that third quarter. And for Claremont, 2 each to Tom Curran, Alex Manuel and Corey Hitchcock. 1 to England and 1 to Reed. Now Claremont 2-5 in that last quarter, West Perth 2-1. You could say that that returned the favour. West Perth were inaccurate early in the game.
They certainly were. In Claremont, well, they had about 4 or 5 chances from that forward 50 to get that margin back. They got it to within 6 points. But what was also the key, we mentioned before the game, Hitchcock getting some valuable goals, 7 goals in that second semi-final. He was only held to just 2, and that's a testament to the West Perth defence and how intense they were, especially Tyson Moulton, who played a real key game, taking some valuable intercept marks and also controlling the tempo of that game. But what a game of football on what is a feast of football. If this game was anything to go by, ladies and gentlemen, wait till the next 2. Peel Thunder doing battle with Claremont in the Colts, and then the big one at 2:40 on Channel 7. It is Subiaco doing battle with South Fremantle. But David Clear, I think I speak for everyone here that was WAFL football at its best.
Absolutely. It was a pulsating game. We really couldn't tell who was going to win until the last 30 seconds. And so it was a wonderful game. It was to and fro. The lead changed hands plenty of times during the day. Claremont got 13 points up, but we saw a surge from West Perth just after half-time. 6 goals in a row. That did it for them. They wanted it so much.
They
that
did.
Premiership, and they attacked Claremont with gusto from the first bounce. We were wondering if they could maintain that pace and that physicality as they run and meet their coaches off the bench.
Blake Arnold, the head coach, another reserves premiership. He deserves it. But as we wrap up this morning, David, I think we could safely say that West Perth, they defied the odds this morning and they were able to sew up their second reserves premiership in this decade. But like we mentioned, commiserations to Claremont. They put in a fantastic performance. And, well, it's been a pleasure this morning, David.
Who do you think might win the medal for the player of the game?
I think it's either going to come down to the following 3. I think it's going to be Tyson Moulton, Connell Lynch, and also, this is going to be a little bit of a bold one, but I like the way he asserted himself in the contest, Slade Hawkins. In fact, while we're at it, a big thank you to our partners at Front Row Screens for providing our stream coverage, and thanks to our supporters as well. As you can see, CD Dodds Scrap Metal Recyclers providing the highlights and the replay, as well as our other supporters across the 2019 season.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tune into Channel 7 as well for the next 2 grand finals.
11:40, the Colts grand final, of course, on Channel 7, and 2:40, the big one between Subiaco and South Fremantle. But West Perth, such an even team performance. Conal Lynch was great in the middle. He was top position winner with 20. Tedesco was important, 18. Tyson Moulton, I like his work in defence.
Absolutely.
It's not often it goes to a defender, but I just think there's so many times they repel Claremont's attack. I reckon he'd be my pick for the player of the game. I might be outvoted there because often it goes to a midfielder or a forward. Braden Antonio, 15 possessions and 2 goals as well, were important in a low-scoring grand final. For Claremont, Callan England was brave in the last quarter. 28 possessions, the top possession winner on the ground. Jacob Sidiris was good, 22. Jake Murphy was important, probably faded as the game went on. Great first half. Tom Ledger, his pace was important for Claremont, and he got 18 possessions. But yeah, great players on both sides. But I think West Perth, 21 scoring shots to 15. Well and truly deserved winners.
They certainly do. Their second premiership in this decade. West Perth, they will be the team in 2020. That just about does it here from Optus Stadium. Great job, David Clear, and all the team at Front Row Screens and here at Optus Stadium. My name is Paul Persick. You've been the great WAFL fans. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you tune into Channel 7 throughout the day for Colts and League Grand Final. But for the moment, it's a very goodbye from Optus Stadium.
Grant Car Stereo Morley, proudly supplying and fitting quality car stereos for over 15 years, selling top-name brands like Alpine, Focal, Rockford Fosgate. From a simple upgrade to complete custom systems, stop in and see Grant and the boys at 61 Russell Street, Morley, or visit us online at carstereo.com.au. If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.